Tere! On suur rõõm näha nii rohkearvulist kindlustuskogukonda täna siin just nimelt KUMUs. Tere tulemast! Mina olen Diana, teie konverentsi tänane teejuht. Muideks, kui ma kuulsin Kirsika käest suvel, et konverents toimub siin KUMUs, siis mu esimene reaktsioon oli vau. Selline koht. KUMU on see koht, kuhu on kogunenud meeletus koguses ideid, visioone, mõtteid. Mina olen siit KUMU auditooriumist saanud oma elu kõige meeldejäävamad filmi- ja muusikaelamused. Ma loodan, et täna on äkki see päev, kus tekib ka kindlustuselamus. Aga nüüd, et alustada, mul on hea meel kutsuda lavale vastne EKSL-i LKF-i juhatuse esinaine Tuuli Pärenson.
Tere!
Tere, Tuuli!
Tere!
Võtame istet, räägime juttu. Ja muideks, rääkige kaasa, küsige küsimusi. See ei ole mõeldud, tänane konverents ei ole mõeldud kuidagi loenguks, vaid pigem ikkagi aruteluks. Nii et tõstke käsi ja küsige küsimusi, jagage oma mõtteid. Aga nagu te näete, siis tegemist on meil inimesega, kes on juhtinud rahvusvahelise IT-ettevõtte Eesti haru, kus on töötanud rohkem inimesi kui kindlustussektoris kokku. Tuuli, sa oled käsiraamatu agiilse projektijuhi meistriklass kaasautor. Sa oled 3 lapse ema. Sa oled IT-li juhatuses kaasa löönud ja sa oled majandusteaduste doktor. Ma väga tahaksin su käest küsida, et kuidas sa küll seda kõike jõuad, aga jätame selle auditooriumile natuke mõistatamiseks. Ja ma küsin sult hoopis, et sa oled olnud liidu eesotsas mõned kuud. Kuidas sa ennast tunned?
Jube hea on olla. Teil ka või? Mul on küll nagu hea. Võin natuke pikemalt ka rääkida, eks ju?
Jaa, ole lahke.
Jaa. Et mis ma siis tunnen või? Mul ikka üllatust on iga päev hästi palju. See on hästi tore ka. Aga võib-olla te tahate teada, kuidas te nagu väljalt poolt paistate või? Äkki tahate? No päris ausalt, võib-olla ikka, kui sisekindlustusega üldse väga kokku ei puutu, et väga palju ei paista, on ju, aga võib-olla ei peagi. Aga siis, kui ma nagu natuke hakkasin vaatama sinna kindlustussektori poole, et siis nagu lugu, mida mulle siin räägiti, eks ju. Kuidagi, ma ei tea, ma arvan, et 5+ teist kindlasti rääkis mulle ikkagi sellest, et ma ei tea, et kuidas sa siia ikka tuled, et hallide ülikondade sektor on see, on ju. Aga täna istume siin, et me näe eriti palju halle ülikondi, on ju. Ja igapäevaselt tööl käies, on ju, on ka rohkem tunne, et siuke kirsadega eesliinil sektor on ikkagi. Et kui räägiti sellest, pangandus kõrgelt reguleeritud, hästi keeruline, natuke jääb mulje, et võiks olla sellised kuivikud laua taga, eks ju. Ja siis tegelikult kohtud inimestega ja siin ju kohvilauas ka, siis tegelikult on selliseid missiooniga töötajaid jube palju ja kui mina ütleks, et kas tegu on, ma olen kunagi panganduses töötanud, et kas on panganduse moodi sektori, siis ma ütleks, et rohkem nagu see sektor, kus on õpetajad ja politseinikud ja päästjad ja ikkagi tegelikult sellised missiooniga inimesed, kes tegelikult tahavad ka teha elu Eestis paremaks. Ja selle üle ma üllatun ikkagi. See on natuke veider on, aga see on hästi tore. See mulle väga meeldib. Sellepärast mul ongi nii hea siin.
Tänud. Ma tahaksin viia 2 aastat tagasi toimus samasugune kindlustuskonverents ja Margus Liigand tegi koos tehisaruga koostööd ja tegi sellise akvarelli, mis siis peaks kujutama Eesti kahju ja elukindlustust oma arengu etapil. Kui me vaatame seda, siis siin on 2 musklis meest, üks laps on neil käe kõrval, täitsa vähmetes, arengupotentsiaali nagu jaguks. Ja ma arvan, et kuna see on esimene akvarell kindlustusest, koos tehtud koos AI-ga, siis see võiks olla ka siin KUMU kogudes. Aga Tuuli, küsimus sulle. Kui sa vaatad seda akvarelli ja tuled IT taustaga ettevõttest, mis on see, mis vajaks natuke rebooti selles maalis või selles kindlustussektoris, mida siin praegust on kujutatud?
No ma alustan sellest maalist. Maal on ilus, aga kas keegi seletaks mulle, kuidas see kindlustusega seostub?
See on kindlustusturg, niisugune keskaegne linnaturg, seal nagu justkui nagu kaubeldakse, on ju võib-olla just käidud kauplemas. Et selline see nägemus 2 aastat tagasi kindlustuskonverentsil oli. Et kas sul on nagu mingi mõte või valdkond tulles väljaspoolt, mis on kindlustussektoris see, mis vajaks taaskäivitamist?
Ma arvan vara öelda, sest et esiteks mul juba 2 kuud aldud ka, on ju. Aga mulle tundub, et ikkagi suures pildis meie kindlustussektor elab ja õitseb ja teeb väga head tööd päevast päeva. Rebootist ma selles vaates üldse ei tahakski rääkida. Aga minu peas kindlustus ei ole maal, sest et kindlustus on ikka nagu elu, eks ju, kus toimub hästi palju. Ja maalid on ka elavad, aga ikkagi see mulle meeldib, kui elus on elu. Et kui üldse kunstivorm, siis äkki pigem ikkagi muusika või tants või teatrietendus või midagi, kus on pidev liikumine, sest seda pidevat liikumist meil ju on.
Väga äge. Ma arvan ka, et tegelikult toimub päris palju põnevaid asju siin kindlustusturul. Aga sa oled käsiraamatu agiilse projekti või meistriklass üks autoritest ja see agiilsus on minu arust kindlustusmaailmas, aga IT-maailmas on see olnud vähemalt 10 aastat nagu mantra, mida korratakse. Agiilsus, agiilsus, agiilsus. Aga mis see on? Mis see sinu jaoks see agiilsus on?
Ma tean, et on üks Eesti parimaid jutuvestjaid, kes ütleb paremini, mis ta on. Kuulame teda, eks? Et siis nagu selge värk.
Et Jaan Tätte?
Jah.
See lugu, mis ma nüüd räägin, on mind elus väga palju aidanud, ilma naljata. See oli 12-13 aastat tagasi, ei teagi enam, kui me läksime oma kuulsale ümber maailma reisile. Läksin siit samast Vilsandilt 8 aastaks, jätsin maha kõik, mida ma armastasin ja vastu tundmatusele. Ja oligi siis käes see päev, kui olime Pirital, lahkumispäev, väga palju rahvast oli meid saatma tulnud, muusika mängis, peeti kõnesid, väga tähtsad inimesed olid kohal ja meie 4 põhimeeskonna liiget, kes me seal olime, seisime, vaatasin neid enda kõrval, Marko, Toonart, Raul. Ja ma sain aru, et me ei ole keegi mingid sellised meremehed, kes võiks minna nüüd kohe üle 4 ookeani või 3. Ja hakkas nagu hirm. Vaatasin oma peret ja mõtlesin, kas ma kunagi näen neid veel, kui vaatan neid praegu viimast korda. Ja see paanika minu silmades aina kasvas ja hakkas nagu tekkima selline paanikaäire lausa. Ja korraga seisis minu kõrval üks habemega mees, Tarmo Kõuts isiklikult. Ja ütles mulle, võta 1 sadam korraga. Siis ma mõtlesin, et hea küll, et siit Piritalt, et Gotlandile me ikka saame. Gotlandilt Bornholmile ikka saame. Bornholmilt Kiili, ikka saame. ja see paanika kadus ära. Ei olnud niimoodi, et me peame purjetama ümber maakera ja kindlasti me seal merepõhjas lõpetame. Nii et siiamaani, kui mul koguneb korraga ühte päeva liiga palju toimetamisi või ühte nädalasse, siis ma ütlen endale, Jaan, stopp, 1 sadam korraga.
1 sadam korraga. See kõlab nagu hea mõttena, et ühe paadiga ei olegi vist väga võimalik mitme sadama suunas purjetada. Tuuli, mis on see esimene sadam, kuhu sa EKSL-i liikuma paned?
Kohe jõuan siia, aga ma ütleks paar lauset võib-olla selle tätteloo juurde, et mis minu meelest on tema kirjelduses see kõige olulisem, mis seda agiilsust nagu kirjeldab. Et ikkagi see number 1 asi on see, et ega me sinna sadamasse ei jõua, kui me minema ei hakka, eks ju. Kui me jääme Piritale paati putitama, siis me jääme teda siia putitama ja võime teda putitadagi aastaid, on ju, et oluline on minema hakata. Ja küll me siis teeme paremini, eks ju. Homme natuke paremini kui täna ja nädala pärast veel natuke paremini kui eelmine nädal. Et see pihta hakkamine on minu meelest see nagu kõige olulisem võti. Ja siis loomulikult see, et ega korraga 2 sadama suunas ei saa. Ja kui siis rääkida sellest, kuhu me need siis minema hakkame, siis me hakkame ühte püramiidi ehitama koos. Hakkame püramiidi ehitama alt üles. Ja üleval siis võib-olla keerukam, aga kõige kitsam asi on ju. Ja kui ma kõik selle krüptika sealt nüüd lahti üritan teile seletada, siis miks alt üles on ikkagi see, et kui mingid asjad ei ole paigas, siis on raske teisi asju teha. Et number 1 on see, et ma kindlasti tahan, et me muutume läbipaistvamaks ja läbipaistvamaks nii meie liikmete kui töötajate kui avalikkuse suhtes. Mitte, et me täna ei oleks, on ju. Aga see on tee, mida saab alati teha nagu paremini ja rohkem. Ja teiseks etteaimatavaks.
Jaa, ma korraks peatuksin läbipaistvaks. Kuidas minu arust on reaalses elus nagu niimoodi, et sa võid võimalikult paljudele inimestele infot jagada. Rääkida korra, 2-3 korda, sa võid saata neile meile, sa võid saata ajalehti, sa võid nendega kokku saada. Ikka on keegi, kes tuleb ja ütleb, aga ma ei ole sellest küll kuulnud. Mis on see nipp, et tagada see, et info jõuaks siiski kõigini?
Realistlik ootus, et ta kunagi ei jõuagi. Selles mõttes, et meil ju kõigil on oma elud ja on hetki, kui me ei jaksa olla kursis. See on okei. Mina näen, et minu roll on anda võimalus olla kursis. Ja see, kas seda võimalust kasutatakse, on vaba tahe. Ja see, mida saab teha paremini, on teha kursis olemine võimalikult lihtsaks ja vähe aega nõudvaks. Ja selles minna nagu aina paremaks, et kui see eeldab mitut päeva süüvimist, et saada aru, kus me oleme, siis see ongi liiga palju pingutust. Et kui see pingutus on väiksem, siis loodetavasti on lihtsam aru saada, kus me oleme. Mul on endal tunne, et me tänaseks teame, võib-olla nüüd mitte kõigiga teil siin saalis, eks ju, ja mitte kõigiga, kes meid ülekandes jälgivad, aga päris suure osaga teist, minu hinnangul umbes 5% saalist, saame päris hästi aru, millega me tegeleme ja millega mitte ja kus suunas edasi. Ja kui rääkida veidi konkreetsemalt, on ju, siis minu meelest üks väga tugev asi, mida me ka teame, et väga palju tegevusi, millega me seni tegeleme, oleme teinud väga hästi ja me selle kõigega jätkame. Et me räägime ju ikkagi väikestest parandustest siin ja seal, aga me tegelikult tahamegi jätkata väga palju selle ühisega, millega me seni oleme tegelenud.
Aitäh! Teine tase siis selles püramiidis?
Etteaimatav. Jaa. Igav sõna on ju. On igav sõna, eks. Mulle hästi meeldib. Kui nüüd rääkida sellest, et me erialaliiduna oleme väga paljudele teile partneriks. Vahet nagu pole, kas see partnersuhe on siis nagu liikmena või muul kujul partnerina. Ja nii nagu ju eraelus ka, et tegelikult on ikkagi tore, kui see partner on etteaimatav, on ju. Tegelikult see on ikkagi hästi mõnus ja see loob väga-väga hea turvatunde, et kui sa ikkagi tead, mida etteaimata, kui õhtul koju lähed. Väiksed üllatused ikka on nagu ka head, aga suures pildis aru saada, mis kellelegi oluline on ja mis korda läheb, see on väga suur väärtus. Ja kui rääkida sellest, kuhu me tahaks järgmise 3 aastaga jõuda liiduna, on see, et me tahaks, et meie partnerid teavad, mida meilt oodata. Ja vähim, mida selleks teha, on, et äkki paneks kirja. Äkki paneks kirja, mida me tahame. Et ega see ei tähenda, et alati saab meile vastu tulla või meid toetada ja alati ei pea isegi mitte nõus olema. Aga see, kui teada, et meie liiduna tahame, et järgneb näide, mitte kokkulepitud seisukoht. Meie tervisesüsteem areneks nii, et kindlustusel on sellel oma roll ja see roll kasvab. See on asi, mida on nagu ikkagi mõistlik välja öelda ja ka kirja panna, et seda meie liiduna tahame. Sealt hakkab etteaimatavus pihta, et ei oleks kahtlust, kas see on meie soov.
Aitäh! Tahad sa natuke sellest samast viimast näitest natuke detailsemalt rääkida, et mida see siis nagu endast kujutaks või on selleks veel liiga vara?
Kui rääkida ravirahastusest? Arvan, et täna on selleks vale koht ja mina olen täna selleks vale inimene, aga meil järgneb paneel, kus sellest saab ju kindlasti täna rohkem arutada.
Okei. Nii on. See tuleb veel pärast pausi.
Jah. Nii, et ärge pärast pausi koju minge. Järgneb põnev paneel.
Äkki on teil kellelgi mõni küsimus tekkinud või mõni mõte, mida te tahaksite jagada siin selle kahe püramiidi esimese taseme juures? Meil on 2 mikrofoni, Kati ja Kirsika jooksevad kohe sinna, kui keegi soovib midagi küsida. Kas te olete täpselt aru saanud, mida nüüd EKSL selle tegema hakkab? Või mis nende visioon on? Kõik on selge? Tundub, et on. Tuuli, see on ju hea uudis. Kellelgi ei ole küsimusi, kõik on selge, nad saavad aru, mis te tegema hakkab. Suurepärane, eks ju?
Kuule, siis meil on ju läbipaistvus saavutatud juba.
Jah.
Kohal. 100 number 1.
Wow. Aga see viimane tipp, mis see on? Digitaalselt võimekas.
No see tuleb sinna kõige muu peale, eks ju. Ja täna ta kindlasti on kõige vähem selge. Ta on umbes kiil, et kui me sinna hakkame jõudma. Eks me siis teame rohkem. Täna me teame seda, et meil täna on, kus ma nüüd alustan? Ma alustan natuke eemalt. Kui me räägime sektorist tervikuna, siis kõik see, mis toimub vastu klienti, on minu meelest juba päris ikkagi ju võimekas ja hea, eks ju. Vastu klienti me vastame päris hästi digitaalsetele ootustele. See, millest mina paari kuu vältel olen isiklikult hakanud puudust tundma, on see, et meil on suhteliselt vähe digilahendusi, mis toetaks meie koostööd. Alustame kas või sellest, et me tahaks seisukohti teiega ühiselt kirja panna. E-kirja teel on natukene vaevaline ja natukene aeglane. Et hästi lihtsa näitena, et need digitööriistad, mis toetavad meie koostööd, nad ei asenda mitte midagi, mida me oleme seni teinud, aga nad teevad meid tõhusamaks ja kiiremaks. Need on üks teema. Ja teine teema on ikkagi see, et kuidas me saame oma sektori kliente paremini teenindada ja ise olla tõhusamad, jätkusuutlikumad ja ägedamad, tehes mõnesid digilahendusi ka koos.
Sa tuled nagu IT-maailmast, eks ju, et kas sa näed nagu sellist, või ma pigem küsiks nagu sedasi, et kui sa peaksid hindama kindlustussektori klienditeenindust täna, digitaliseeritust, digivõimekust, 5 palli skaalale, mis hinde sa siin nagu paneksid, et kui palju seal nagu kliendi poole veel ruumi, arenguruumi teha veel kiiremaks, sujuvamaks kliendile, kui palju sa seal arenguruumi näed?
Ma ei tea. See on asi, kus ma vist ei peagi teadma. Ja kui ma täna midagi ütleksin, siis ma ütleksin oma isiklikku kogemust, eks ju, kui mina kui Tuuli, mitte mina kui EKSL-i ja LKF-i juht. Ja ma tean, et minu isiklikud kogemused on nagu üdini positiivsed, ka juhul, kui on selgunud, et tegu ei ole kahjujuhtumiga. Minu kogemus on sellest hoolimata olnud positiivne, võib-olla ma muidu istuks sellel toolil täna. Aga mul ei ole andmeid täna, et rääkida terve sektori eest või anda hinnanguid.
Okei, tänud. Kuidas sa mainisid, et koostöö võiks olla nagu sujuvam seltside vahel, peaks olema mingisugused teised vahendid, e-mail on ajast ja arust, mis see uus vahend oleks?
E-mail on täitsa nagu tore asi omal kohal, aga alustame sellest, et paar väikest asja, et ei tea, EKSL-il võiks koduleht olla. Oleks nagu okei või? Ma tahaks teha küll, aga ma tean, et meil arutelu alles tuleb, et kas teeme. Ootame huviga otsust volikogult, et kas teeme järgmine aasta EKSL-ile kodulehe.
Kas see, mis praegust on, lkf.ee, see on nagu, see ei ole koduleht, see on midagi, mis
ta on LKF-i koduleht oma sisult.
Okei.
Tulles tagasi punkti number 2 juurde, et tahaks olla etteaimatav, et kui me teame, et meil on liiduna kindel seisukoht, siis oleks nagu hästi tore, kui ajakirjanik ja poliitikakujundaja ja ametnik saaks selle seisukoha leida meie kodulehelt. See oleks ilus minu meelest.
Sa mõtled siis midagi nagu sinnas suunas, et kodulehel oleks juba Seltside Liidu seisukohad olemas?
Minu peas nad võiks seal olla, jah. Kui te ka nii arvate ja kui te nii otsustate. Meil ei ole sellist otsustust olnud veel, aga ma loodan, et tuleb.
Selge pilt. Kas teil on ka selge pilt, mida EKSL LKF edasi teeb? Mulle tundub, et inimesed eestlastlikuna on väga niisugused tagasihoidlikud, ei julge midagi öelda. Küll aga meil on olemas niisugune asi nagu slido.com. Te võite täitsa vabalt võtta oma telefoni välja ja vastata küsimusele, kuidas see püramiid teile tundus, kas oli arusaadav? Kaks tükki on juba vastanud, 3, yes, läheb käima.
Olete nii sõbralikud. Ma loodan, et see jätkub.
Ühtlasi me saame teada, kui palju meid täna siin on. Kui kõigil on telefonid kaasas. Päris paljud on juba vastanud. Kui mina vaatan seda 5 palli skaalal hinnangut, siis minul tekib küll küsimus, et 19% inimestest on niisugune kahe vahel, ei tea, aga küsida ka ei julge. Ei ole arusaadav, aga küsida ka ei julge. Isegi 20% arvab nii päris palju. Kas ei julge küsida või ei oska küsida? Assa! Yeah. But that's a fair answer, I would say. Wonderful, Jānis. But this is really understandable. Aga siiski, kas teil on mõningaid täiendavaid küsimusi, kommentaare, mõtteid, mida EKSL, LKF peaks tegema? Soovite te neid jagada? Jess, esimene ei olnud. Aitäh!
Tere! Mina tahan küsida Kindlustusmaaklerite Liiduga koostöö kohta. Kas on juba mingid mõtteid selles osas?
Me oleme Kindlustusmaaklerite Liidu juhatusega kohtunud ja nemad meie püramiidis kuuluvad sinna keskele klotsi, on ju. Et nendega meil on kahepoolne huvi, et me oleks üksteisele etteaimatavad. Nad teaks, mida me arvame, me teaks, mida nemad arvavad. Kindlasti on hetki, kui me ei ole üksmeelel ka, see on okei. Aga eks me teame ka täna, et meil on teemasid, milles me oleme ka väga ühte meelt. Jälle sattusime sinna eraravi otsa. Et see eraravi on hästi tore, nagu see eraraha seal ravisüsteemis on nagu teema, kus me tegelikult oleme päris kindlasti maakleritega ühes paadis, on ju. Ja kui need hetked on, siis mina ei näe, miks me ei võiks ühiselt tegutseda. Te teate, miks ei tohiks? Öelge siis.
Vaikus. Ma päris sinna taha kõige viimast ritta ei näe. Kas seal on mõni käsi püsti? Tundub, et ei ole. On teil äkki mõni küsimus Tuulile kui juhatuse esimehele Seltside Liidus ja LKF-is? Ei ole.
Tuuli, ma korra testin, et sa räägid arengusuundadest, et mis see tänane ühendorganisatsiooni visioon on olnud siiamaani? Kas sa saaksid sõnastada selle?
Palun andke see mikrofon sinna viimasesse ritta, sinna nurga peale, seal on üks inimene, kes tsiteerib seda une pealt. Mina suudan öelda märksõnad, aga täislause suudab moodustada Lauri Põtsep.
Aitäh, Tuuli! Meie kontori seina peal on kirjutatud lause: oleme kindlustusala edendaja, ühendaja ja eeskuju, kes usaldusväärse koostööpartnerina viib kindlustuse igaüheni. Aga aitäh, Tuuli, veel kord, sa oleks võinud ette hoiatada, ma oleks ladusamalt öelnud.
Minu meelest oli väga ladus ja väärib lausa aplausi selle eest, kas te ei arva?
Selge pilt. Kas, Tuuli, kuidas sul on inglise keelega?
3+.
3+? Meil on külalisi ka siin Jānis, näed, sa pani nii halva hinde.
Parem kui mu läti keel.
Kas läheme inglise keelel üle?
Lähme.
Okei. Dear guests from Latvia and Lithuania, welcome on board. And thank you for your patient listening Estonian. And we will excuse this very bad sign, Jānis, you gave us. But today we have two main focused areas in this conference. And one of them is insurance market in Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. And after 1 hour we will have a pause. After that we will focus on the employers' health insurance in 3 Baltic countries from 3 different point of views. And when we will have an insurance award. Maybe Tuuli, you would like to say something for the conference participants, something they should do? Should they just sit calmly and not take part, have fun?
It's okay to have fun, it's okay to laugh, and it's okay to ask questions whenever you feel like it. At least before coffee break. I don't know about the after.
Okay. In order to start with the insurance market overview, the consumer survey results, I'm happy to invite to the stage Jānis Abāšins from Latvian Insurance Association.
And now the warm-up is officially over.
And I am a little bit sorry for my vote because I didn't understand what's the question. I first voted and then I got the translation from colleagues, but take it as it is, it's 1. If I would not vote, probably the vote would be 4-0. Now it's 3.9, so.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes,
but now it looks like a trustworthy survey.
Yes. Yes, but you know, if I am in insurance branch like for 30 years, I might vote a little bit wrong from time to time. So,
just to see if it counts correctly.
Yes, and if I'm looking on this picture, for example, if, we are having 2 nice faces. I am like 30 years in the market, and Tuuli is like 3 months in the market. So that's a couple.
But I think that you can help each other out with balance each other out from new ideas and the old stories, maybe. But before we will start, Jānis, I would like to ask from you, you are the leading voice in the Latvian insurance market. What are the main things you are proud about the Latvian insurance market?
Worried about?
No,
or
proud.
Proud.
The hot top things. Yes, we have done it.
Last 3 years, Latvian insurance market has been passing, or last 2 years, almost 3 years, has been passing through interesting times. And we will come to those figures in the end of our presentation. And one of those, I can say what I am not proud of at once.
Okay.
But we will see that in the end, yes. But being proud of, I would say that, for example, if we are comparing our markets, and it's not only Latvian market, but even Estonian and even Lithuanian market, for example, during COVID time. So I know that some European countries, insurance markets almost stopped. In Baltic countries, they stopped for, I don't know, 5 hours, and then they were up and running again. So when it comes to digitalization and all those things, IT things, I think we, Latvian market, Estonian market, Lithuanian market, we can be very proud. We are definitely among the top players on the market. When it comes to, for example, claims handling, I think as well, technology-wise, we are again top players on the market. When it comes to, let's say, efficiency on the market as such, we are behind. When it comes to life insurance, we are behind. But of course, there are definitely things where we are proud, and we should be proud of our markets. For example, regarding Latvia, and I said digitalization, claims handling, huge potential. That's still something to bear in mind.
Thank you. Well, let's start. Floor is yours.
Now you.
Find 3 differences.
Almost
That's the challenge.
Almost no difference, yes?
Pretty similar, aren't they?
They are very similar, and from my point of view, when I'm looking on Estonian and Latvian pictures, they are almost the same. So we know the players are 90% the same. We have a couple of local players in each market, but otherwise markets are almost the same. Pan-Baltic players, Pan-Baltic structures. So find the difference. No difference.
No difference at all. That's why we should cooperate more and try to have more similar things. Also on the regulation sides, shouldn't we?
Yeah, just before this conference in the morning, we talked about all those things coming from Europe. And you know that if from Europe comes a thing or the new regulation with a lady's name, it's a tough one. Like Dora, Fida. If it's a man's name, it's still okay. So we can still survive. And for example, on Fida, that's something we talked on in the mornings, that's something we should be cooperating with, because cooperating on, because Fida is definitely an animal which will change the insurance field, and for Baltic players it would be rather preferable to have one, let's say, one solution instead of 3 small solutions.
And a bit less work for your IT teams, hopefully.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same.
Again, pretty much the same, yes, I agree. And of course, Latvian market is a little bit smaller, but on Latvian market last year we had quite a heavy storm. On one hand, we might say that this storm was quite heavy, and those who know the Latvian market, like Kaspars, he would say it's quite expensive, 25 millions. But if we are looking on, let's say, it was in those 25 millions are composed by 10,000 claims. So average claim, simple mathematics, 2,500. Nothing, basically. So yes, but otherwise, as you can see, both markets, decent growth. And then on Latvian side, the growth on a claim side, especially due to property, which is the storm, especially due to health insurance inflation and property insurance inflation. Those are like the major drivers. The rest of the drivers are the minimal ones.
But if there is just one takeaway that you should memorize, also, you know, tomorrow morning, then this is that the insurance market in Estonia and Latvia is doing pretty well.
Yes, but those guys, they know it pretty well, so yeah. I think it's just another reminder.
But yes. I don't think that we think about it enough, because we seem to criticize ourselves quite a lot. So we should take the pride in it that we have done a good job.
I thought that criticizing ourselves is just a Latvian habit, but it seems to be
no,
even
no,
an
no.
Estonian
We are pretty
habit.
good at it too.
You are good on that as well? Okay,
yeah.
good.
You can learn something from the neighbors. But Jānis, you mentioned about these cat events, and I have heard that there are kind of changes coming to in law in Latvia.
Changes are coming, and I can say already now that out of this storm, which was only roughly 25 millions in claims, out of this storm comes like 2 major changes in the law. And this law will be passed actually very soon, and all those changes will be passed very soon. And 2 learnings. One thing is that all the retail insurance wording contract should be in a simple language. What is a simple language? The question comes. Simple language is something that person in 8th or 9th degree in 9th class in a school can understand and read it. So that's the one. And that's so for the all major retail products, simple language. And in reality, the simple language is not even defined. So it's a little bit of hitting and shooting and hitting. So let's see how it works. In Latvia, we do have some 3 good specialists in a simple language, and now to get some help of those 3 specialists is very tough, because there is a queue from insurance company, queue from bankers. So one first change is simple language, and another change is that on the first page of policy, on the insurance policies, there should be let's say, risk scoring or risk dashboard, let's put it so. Risk, for example, fire risk, covered, not covered. I don't know, water risk or pipe burst, covered, not covered. So pluses or minuses. So the insurance company can decide how they are going to show that. So out of the storm comes those two changes in the law. So basically we will be the first insurance market in Europe where for retail mass products, wording should be forced by the law to be in a simple language.
I wonder how to kind of present the all risk cover.
Good question. Probably you will have this tick in every box, that covered, 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 other risks covered. I don't know.
Could be one good solution.
We see some changes here, you know, or differences. Not as same as previous one, but not that different either.
Well, one big difference, and that's the difference why we are here today. That's the reason. That's the blue color. I don't know why, but in Latvian pie, the blue color is more than an Estonian pie, so usually it's vice versa. You are more on the blue side, we are more on the red side. So, but now here it's like Latvian color is more blue. I don't know why.
You didn't understand my Estonian version, you know, during the interview that I presented a hypothesis that it could be one of our, you know, like standing positions as the Insurance Association in Estonia, that we want this blue sector to grow. It sounds like hypothesis, or, you know, should we just say that we want it to grow?
Okay.
We want it to grow.
Do it, but but from Latvian experience, I might say that health insurance is quite a tricky line of business. So it's always around the let's say the combined ratio. Such animal in insurance exists still. This combined ratio is always around 100, so a little bit above 100 or a little bit below 100. But never below 90, or very seldom below 90. So this line of business is very tricky one, and very competitive one as well. And you are very dependent on healthcare providers. For example, in Latvia, we are having 3 major private healthcare providers. It's like a network. All those 3 providers are having networks. They are having both polyclinics, they are having clinics, they are having even some of them small hospitals, and if they are basically driving the price. So the inflation on healthcare in Latvia has been actually quite tremendous. And if we are looking on those services provided, those so-called ambulatory services, then the inflation is 1-digit inflation. But if we are looking, let's say, on hospitals, on stationary care, then this inflation digit, if you are looking on last 10 years, the inflation almost every year is double-digit. So this is a tricky line of business. So if you increase this blue line of business, do it carefully.
But do you see that there is a kind of, okay, Estonians want to grow in health, but do you see our growth potential, in which lines you might see the biggest kind of potentials to grow?
Well, now I know what I must say.
All lines of business.
Yeah. I know what you have told me. And there I have heard about 2 main things that could bring short-term growth as well. So one side is, of course, if we have insurance products on the market already, but we know that, now I'm missing the English words and terminology, vastutuse piirmäärad.
When some insured?
Yeah. If the amounts are too small, you know, when you're insured to too small of an amount. So that's a real thing because people don't think about it. I made preparations for this very important event. I went to hairdresser and I read the, some kind of ladies magazine. And Grete Paia, now she has another name, very famous Estonian singer, were writing there about her story, how she flew to Sweden, put her luggage on top of the shelf and sat down, and when she arrived, the luggage was not there anymore. And then we know what this normal amount is that you're insured to, but you can't imagine all those situations that can happen. And they are, it's public information what has happened. We also know that insurance for homes, we see the same thing. People just don't know how much they should insure. They have no clue what can happen. If we look at scooters, we see the same thing. It sounds like that I can't do much harm, but oh yeah, oh boy, you can. Oh boy, you can cause quite a lot of harm to others. So that's one side of the story. It's related to many types here, but the idea is the same, that, we are the experts, we know what can happen, but normal people on the streets don't. And it's a challenge how to get through to them, how to make them aware. And the other, just to mention what is this second subject, but I won't speak about that much, at least not at first. And that's the life side, because if you look at any statistics, the life side in Estonia is weird. It's weirdly low. It's just a fact.
But what's the reason, could be the reason behind that?
Behind life?
Yeah.
Well, as Andres said, life is very complex, and answer is very complex as well. So there might be several reasons. There might be old Soviet thinking, instead of relying on yourself, you are relying more on social help from municipality or from a state. It's an economical situation as well. So if you don't feel good economically, probably instead of life insurance, you will buy the compulsory line of business. So, but I totally agree with Tuuli that life insurance, the share of life insurance is definitely too small in both markets. And as you know that, for example, if you are looking on old European markets, life insurance there is half of the market, or even more than half of the market. And as bigger the life insurance gets as a share of the market, then of course even the queuing as a social help will just get smaller. So life insurance is definitely one line of business where we could and should increase.
And do you now want to have a simple answer for a very complex question, unofficial one?
Yeah.
Now you heard the version that if you have been in this sector for 30 years, then you know that it's a complex issue.
Yes.
If you're new to the sector, then you can, just say that every person in this room and everywhere in Estonia should answer 2 simple questions. First question is, do you know how long you're going to live? Please raise your hands, who knows? When the answer is yes, please raise your hands.
Have you decided how long will you live? Okay, good.
So we have a few. And that proves a point. It's a question that you have to ask yourself. Then the second question is that you have to ask yourself that, what if I die today, or what if I die when I'm 120 years old? Will I have a good life? And will everyone who will stay behind be safe and secure? And in short, do I have enough wealth already so I don't need an insurance? So now please raise your hands who have enough wealth no matter what may come.
Everybody wants more.
So if the answer is no to both questions, then please go and ask for offers. Please be wise and ask for several providers and make a wise choice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good suggestion, and I am like a 30+ person on the market should learn from a newcomer to the market. Yes.
This easy language in
yes, easy language, 2 simple questions. Yeah.
I see Merko here. Merko, do you want to comment with expert advice, maybe?
I already commented to fellow colleagues here that it seems that my lobby word towards Tuuli has reached its already message is clear. So, and of course, Compensa Life is anytime willing to make good proposals. So thank you.
It seems that there is a like kind of internal lobby. Okay, good. Well, but for life insurance, I don't think we need any lobby. So we need some kind of common efforts by the whole branch. So I would suggest even for non-life insurers to really try to help to develop life insurance. That's kind of common issue.
Yeah, the survey background.
Background, if I can start, because I know the history. I am 30 years plus on the market. So, yes, we agreed with some years ago with Estonian associations that, or we heard first that Estonians are doing this reputation survey, and we said yes, we do it as well. So maybe we can combine some questions and align some questions so we can measure each other. And Estonians said yes, it's very good idea. Actually, I don't know who said it first, but we agreed very simply that it's a very good idea to do it. In Latvia, we do it every second year. In Estonia, I don't know.
Every third.
Every third.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are very cost efficient, not too often.
Yes, you are. You are more cost efficient. Yes, in that sense. Yes, good. So, and actually, well, this year we did first in Estonia and now in Latvia and in Latvia as well. And one thing we learned this morning as well is that we should do this reputation survey at the right moment. In Latvia, we did it in a wrong moment. In Estonia, you did it actually in a right moment. Why? Because I heard that next week you are having some funny event in the parliament. Yes, hearing about private health insurance. So, most probably, insurance companies will not increase their reputation next week. So, the reputation might a little bit go down, but maybe it's going up. So, let's see. Yes, but otherwise, survey is here. We are doing it every second year. Estonians are doing it every third year. An outcome is here.
But isn't it so that actually this survey, if you do it in a bright summer or springtime, you will get the better results from respondents when doing it in a dark, cold winter months? Maybe this could be also one reason behind.
Who knows?
HR people probably know. Do we have any HR persons here in a auditorium? Head of HR of, I don't know, ERGO, IF or PZU? No, HR is missing, so we don't have his answer.
Yeah, that remains to be revealed later. But yeah, the use of insurance products.
Estonia has more of many things.
Yes.
We have more. It's a good thing. We are proud of ourselves.
Yes, on property you are definitely having more. And when you talked about this market potential previously on those slides, I totally agree with you that this some insured or underinsurance, how we call it in insurance, in property line of business, is still very big. And actually this last year's storm in Latvia and this average claim we paid 2,500 euros shows that actually the underinsurance is still there and it's very big. And if we are looking on this slide, on Latvian side, I can say that, well, how I am looking on this one is actually that in all lines of business it's more or less the same. Property, Estonians are much better. And then it's a very good question, why? Probably Latvian banks has been a little bit more, let's say, reluctant to finance mortgage loans. That's one reason. Another reason might be that Latvian economy is a little bit behind the Estonian economy when it comes to financing. Let's see how it's changing, because I was looking on the last year figures of ACB, European Central Bank, and there we can see that When it comes to long-term loans, Latvia has passed Estonia and Lithuania in 2024 and is now ahead of Baltic peers. But if we are looking on household mortgages, still Latvia is behind the Baltic peers. So let's see, but the market potential is there, yes, definitely.
I have just personal opinion about this property. Might it be that we in Estonia have a happy problem because, you know, a lot of property is purchased with a loan, you know, let's start from there, but we deep dived into the numbers and a huge amount of this insurance, it's not there because it's mandatory. It's because people want it to be there, and just wonder why is it like that. We don't, you know, but I have an idea why it might be like this. And this happy problem is that also a lot of property, when you start buying your, you know, first home, most of us don't have sufficient funds to make the initial payment. So we have to put the mortgage on our parents' home, friends' homes, everything, you know. And of course, all of them have to buy the insurance. And when they've had the experience, when they have enjoyed the luxury of having the insurance for a year or two, then they continue to have it even when they don't have to. Because that's the fact, if you haven't had the experience, you don't know what you're missing. But the moment when you have tried it, you never want to lose this wonderful service from your life.
Sounds good, sounds reasonable. Otherwise, if I am looking on this picture, when it comes to travel insurance, it's really a little bit uncomparable, because in Estonia the question is, have you been buying travel insurance in the last 2 years? In Latvia the question is, do you have travel insurance? So it's not the same. But otherwise, what I can learn from this one is that yes, Estonia is ahead of property insurance, plus this figure is confirmed by Latvian regulator as well, which Latvian regulator showed us, I don't know where they got actually these statistics, that only half of Latvian property, of that property which is occupied, is insured. And this is this 50% even here. So it actually means that the potential is still huge. So first of all, half of the property is not insured, and the half which is insured is still quite heavy uninsured. So the potential is there, definitely.
Yeah. And if you look ahead, then I have one question in my head, that is the society changing? And also the how we gain experience with insurance, is it changing? Because, you know, in my age, when I was young, then normally the first insurance that anyone had was, you know, their car, then next they had their home, and then came the rest. Might it be that, you know, now actually this credit card insurance and travel is the first? I don't know. But you tell me. But it might change how, you know, Estonians perceive insurance. Because it used to be the way that you start with something that's compulsory and then you grow from there. But what if people don't buy these things anymore where the insurance is compulsory?
When we had a meeting with this company who was doing survey in Latvia, our discussion came to quite an interesting point, because the new generation, regarding
rent
new
everything.
generation, yes, so they don't own car, they might be just renting flat. So instead of buying their own car, they are renting Bolt on the street for 10 minutes. They don't need a private car. So actually what it means that the behavior is changing, the society is changing, behavior is changing. So it means that our insurance offering should be changed as well. As you might know, in Latvia we got a new insurance company license this year, in beginning of this year, called Sincera Insurance. And that's a local capital company, and will be offering embedded insurance, which means, and they are starting with the owner's tool. Owner of this company is actually company aggregator for car rentals. So if you want to rent a car, you go in there in this aggregator and you want to rent a car. And as you know, if you're renting car, you usually get you have to pay some 1,000 deposit or something, some guarantee sum. and this insurance company will be covering this guarantee sum for additional money. So let's see, that's embedded insurance. So it means that more and more such products, more and more such tailor-made solutions most probably will be coming to the market.
Yeah, a new kind of competition, and maybe you're talking about this embedded insurance more from this point of view as well, but it's a kind of ecosystems, kind of new governments are coming, embedding different kind of type of insurances into their products without the customer would even notice that they will buy it, more or less.
Like first credit card with insurance, even without asking, so you're just getting it. So. Yeah.
Yeah, the provider selection. Any surprising things for you here?
Once again, we have more of everything in Estonia.
You are reading more.
We are reading more.
More cautious people?
Maybe.
Paranoid?
Could it be any awareness reason behind?
I don't know if it's that awareness. When it comes to price sensitivity, you are even more price sensitive. This survey shows it. I don't believe in that. I think we are more or less the same, price conscious. When it comes to these terms of contract, you are far ahead there. So what does it mean? You are reading more, you are more conscious what you are buying, hopefully.
And it's a really good thing. I think it's a huge effort and a really good place where to be, where we actually know that our customers, at least our existing customers, care pretty much what they're buying.
That's a really good thing, because let's see how this picture will change after this Latvian legislation change.
Yeah. Simple text.
Simple text and this dashboard of risks. Will we get up this figure or not? So let's see.
If I do look this graph, I have a kind of a questions from the insurance company perspective. Again, the price. Is there any option to promote and change the customer kind of mindset, that they would more look for the terms and conditions, the quality of claims handling, reputation more than a price, or is it kind of take it or leave it?
Yeah, if I have to answer, then of course there is a room for all of those things, but we shouldn't expect any miracles. And there is no one big thing which will change everything. So there is a lot of small nitty-gritty things which will change those things. And that's something insurance companies should do, brokers should do. So we together as one industry should do. And it's quite a lot depends on brokers as well. Because brokers are quite heavy involved in the retail insurance as well, not only in the corporate one. So if you are an owner of an aggregator in MTPL and you are a big player, so a lot depend on you as well, how you are providing information to the client. Do those clients really read something, or they just tick a box? So that's something we should get rid of, this box ticking.
Fully agree, but if I would add one thing, that this graph doesn't tell us that it's low price. It just means that price matters. And as a human being, I fully understand that price matters. It doesn't mean that I always choose the lowest bidder. It does mean that I check if I can afford what's offered. And that's totally okay, and that's what everyone should do when they purchase anything.
I remember this, when we were asking in Latvia the same question regarding MTPL. So the price sensitivity, so-called, was up. It was something like 70+%. So it's even more. And that's understandable as well. That's like a law-driven product decided by the law. Everybody is selling the same product, more or less, if you're not selling some add-ons. So on that line of business, it's even higher.
Yeah, of course, the compulsory insurance.
And aggregators.
Yeah. Method of concluding contract. Something surprising here?
Now there's more of Latvia. Now you have more.
Well, more or less, but it's very, I read this one as quite equal one. The surprise for me was actually, as we are doing this research, or this research every second year, this research of this year is actually showing that internet in Latvia got some 4% lower than 2 years ago, which I don't believe again. So, because in my understanding, more and more goes through the internet instead of any older sales channels. But that's the outcome. But otherwise, I think it's quite equal. Yes.
And just a short summary is that yes, our customers want us to be in digital channels.
Yes.
We have to be there.
Well, and one more learning, probably the elderly generation wants to sometimes talk on the phone as well. Maybe you don't. I still talk on the phone.
I do.
You do as well, okay.
I do.
But could there be any kind of a totally new sales channels? Okay, something what comes is this embedded insurance, but I don't know what you will ask from Alexa, please renew my MTPL, and you will instantly have the MTPL renewal. Any kind of emerging channels in horizon? Apps.
Okay, I can tell what we are doing on MTPL side in Latvian Motor Bureau. We are now testing, or we are starting to test a new thing, which is like reporting a claim using bots. So which means that you are going to WhatsApp, for example, and you will write there, I don't know, something like report MTPL claim, and then the bot will say what you should do. So please describe this and that. Okay, you are answering.
Okay.
Bot is asking the next question, do that and that, so you are doing that and that. So maybe those bots will change something, maybe not, I don't know. It's a minor thing, it's not any huge thing.
Okay.
But we start on the claims side.
Does it work kind of AI-based things, that the AI starts to generate?
It's AI-based as well,
prompts.
yes.
Oh, interesting.
But otherwise, any new channels, you are saying applications, yes, it's more and more, but otherwise, what can be new on sales channels? I don't know. So refrigerators are buying insurance, as you said.
Would be wonderful, isn't it?
Maybe.
Because who actually from us would like to kind of spend time reading the terms and conditions, thinking about the insurance? We would like that if something happens, we will get the indemnity, but all the rest is, please take away to free the time.
This FIDA will be an interesting animal as well, because FIDA in general means what? FIDA in general means that me as a customer, I as a customer, are logging somewhere in and saying that I am ready to share my data not only with my insurance company X, but even with brokers and other insurance companies. So insurance company I provided my data with will be forced to share some portion of my data to other insurance companies and to other brokers. That's the idea of FIDA, so to get more competition. So I might think that FIDA might be a little bit of game changer. Some insurers will gain, some insurers might be a little bit losing, but it's not a new channel. It's the same old channel.
How many of audience know what FIDA means? Please raise your hand.
10 hands, not too bad.
Quite few. Maybe this could be the topic for the next conference, to deal with this one.
I think we should do something before the next conference, because if FIDA is coming into force, and most probably it will come into the force, then we will be forced to start on the 1st of January 27 to exchange some data. And that means that beforehand we have to do some legal work, we will have to do some IT work, and create some kind of platform for this data exchange. So if we start to do it, let's say half a year, or now it's November. So where
It's
are we?
already November.
2 months before FIDA comes into force, we are a little bit late. Oh no, 12 months, 14 months, yes, I'm wrong, okay.
We have a different belief. Or should I say hope? It might be a hope, because we were given hope that it might be that we will have 48 months to implement this thing that we don't know what it is. But of course it can change, because when you're writing a regulation, then changing 48 months to 8, it's just deleting one number, it's super easy. It can happen in process. But of course we hope for the 48.
It depends how you count those 48 and when you start counting. So let's see.
Yeah, and basically the survey final point about the trust, how our customers trust insurance, how much. Something surprising here, or how you would kind of sum it up?
Of course, I have to start with praising you all. So the insurers and brokers and regulators and legislators and all of you. Estonians' numbers are superb, and they are there because you are doing a good job, and you've done a good job for years. That's what I see here. So please still applaud yourself. Because Estonians trust insurance. As I started earlier saying that, I have been surprised that it seems that really the insurers are in the first row and fighting the battle, not sitting behind their desks and doing technocratic things. And I think it shows here. I see it here that also our customers feel that we are there for them. And that's amazing.
And I have a question maybe in respect of that to the audience, but what do you think, what is the main driving force behind having such a high level trust? Is it good sales, good terms and conditions, or claims handling perhaps?
Yes, I think it's good claims handling. I think it's, if even client receives denial, then we talk to the client so he or she understand why it is so.
Thank you. But what makes a good claim handling? Is it speed? Is it quick money transfer? Just would like to understand why it's kind of so high trust here. But I totally agree, and I think that all of you will agree that the claims handling is this trust building, the insurance face to your customers. Is it something surprising from this survey, Jānis and Tuuli, for
yes.
you?
For me, yes.
The difference. For me, the difference
the
is
difference is big. Last 2 years ago, this trust in insurance in Latvia was 12 percentage points higher, but still below Estonian figures. And when it comes to claims handling, it's a very good question, because for those persons who have had claims, the trust, at least on the Latvian side, the trust on insurance is again some 10 percentage points higher. It's close to 50. For those who don't have claims or haven't had claims, the trust is lower. So, but in general, yes, the learning points are there for the Latvian market. It's a little bit of a wake-up call. It's not just a little bit, it is a wake-up call. We had a storm in 23 with a little bit of reputational issues, but a little bit. We had a storm in 24 with quite a lot of reputational issues, because we by accident, the first person who got refusal was a journalist from very influential magazine. So, and then it came. It came. So it started, and including the president standing in those water boots and saying that insurers should behave and do their job properly. So yes, so Storm 23, Storm 24, this year we had a little bit of bad reputation coming from talks about crop insurance. In Estonia, crop insurance is almost non-existing, but in Latvia it's a small line of business, but quite sensitive because you are dealing with farmers, and farmers is always something like that part of society and that part of business which is like very used to donations. It's not donations, it's subsidized. They are subsidized, and if something goes wrong, they are taking a tractor and coming to the middle of Riga. So easy. so you have to really work with farmers. And on MTPL side, we had a huge discussion on insurance for those vehicles which are standing without use this year. So all those points didn't increase the reputation on Latvian insurance, on Latvian insurers, but it's not an excuse. That's a fact of life. So for Latvian insurers, this droppage is actually some kind of wake-up call. So, and it's not only association or motor bureau who should do something. They will not be able to wash clean if something goes wrong, or insurance companies do something wrong. So, but all in all, so this is a wake-up call. We will be coming up with a action plan what to do, and that plan will not be just for insurance companies, or it will be not just for association or motor bureau, it will be even for insurance companies as well. So it's a wake-up call.
I'm wondering, what you said before, that due to these CAT events, there is a new law and you need to kind of list down what kind of all risks you are covering. Why it has been turned out from this side, but not from the claims handling side? Was it more of an issue on the coverage side or handling the claim side? What was the kind of the biggest experience in that?
I would say it was more an issue regarding those storms we had and those reputational issues during that moment. It was not that much coverage or not that much claims. It was more like a communication. How we communicated with our clients. Of course, it was a little bit of coverage as well, because some people suddenly discovered that the flood cover they are having is like not all the floods are covered, but only those floods coming from the river or from a lake. And of course, they didn't read it before, so they made a tick and they bought the policy. So coverage, a little bit of the coverage. Claims handling as such, I don't think we had too many complaints regarding claims handling. At least I didn't notice anyone. It was more like coverage and communication. CC.
Okay.
Third C, claims handling, was okay.
And I would just add one thing about the Estonian market that maybe is not known that well outside of our sector. And this is the fact that we have paid a lot of attention and put in much effort in creating those best practices and making sure that we self-regulate, because we are perceived as one market. So it doesn't matter if, one of us does extremely well. It takes only one of us to do, something poorly, so all of us take the hit. And it might be a bit underappreciated, this huge work around those best practices and all those discussions that we have in order to make sure that our customers receive what they know they will perceive, so that they know what to expect. And this is just something that we have to continue. I know that some of you have asked that, do we need to have that many? Do we need to have that much? I don't know what the right answer is, but I know that, these results look like this because we have done things our way. If I just compare, if you go to our website and look at those best practices, you can find hundreds of pages of text, how insurance sector in Estonia normally does things. It doesn't mean that everyone has to follow every single point. It does mean that this is considered normal or considered common in Estonia. If I just compare to, I come from ICT sector, how we did things there. We had a one-pager saying we promised to be good, and then we had an event where the president came and the prime minister came, and then we all signed the document saying that we promised to be good. But we have defined on hundreds of pages how good looks like. And that's, hell of the job that we have done well again. So, applause yourself for that hard work that you do in the working groups.
Yeah, but that was about the survey. Do you have any kind of surprising moments for you from the survey, or you would like to comment, share your experience? Any questions from audience?
I have one surprise still,
Yeah.
looking on this page. On the last row, they are saying that hard to tell, do they trust insurance or not? So 1/4 is saying that they have no clue. Yeah. So what's that? Why don't they have a clue? I don't have an answer yet. I might have an answer, but I am still a little bit doubtful.
Erika.
So the audience between 16 and 68 has no clue. So those who are older than 68, they are having clue.
16 and 18 have no clue. So maybe they answered as well.
Ah, you mean, okay, maybe. The youngsters has no clue. Okay, maybe. I am a little bit I am a little bit suspicious that that might be a little bit of the answer, but another version of the answer is that people, they are so busy with this social media, so instead of thinking, they just tick something. Maybe I'm wrong.
Could be also.
You clicked on the face in the Slido.
Yes, yeah.
Did we have a hand there, or was it just a stretch? No.
I didn't see any hand, but...
If there are no hands...
We have one exercise still to do.
Yes, we have one
We
exercise.
will surprise you, sorry, Diana.
Yeah, please do.
Insurance is all about risk mitigation, and don't take any unnecessary risks. We will have a coffee break soon. I'm afraid that we will also serve some snacks there. So it's important that you warm up your jaw before you go there. And I know that Jānis will help us. We will learn one word in Latvian in order to, warm up our jaw before we have a coffee break.
Yes, and that's, if I am like 30 plus years in insurance industry, I learn quite quickly in Estonian, insurance in Estonian, Kindlustus insurance in Lithuanian, draudimas, very easy. But then I was trying to teach Tuuli apdrošināšana in Latvian, or Kindlustus in Latvian.
I failed.
So that was a difficult one. So who might say here in the audience how is insurance or Kindlustus
Let's just
in
try
Latvian?
together first, like 3 times.
Okay.
Could you just say it like,
Me.
You say it first and then we try it as a choir.
Okay. Maybe I can't do it anymore. Apdrošināšana.
I'm sure
Sa.
Yeah.
Or
Apdrošināšana. Yeah, it's already better. And one more time. Apdrošināšana. Yes.
Now, any brave ones in the audience who would like to do it alone?
Peter, you sit down. It's not for you.
Kaspars as well.
Kaspars as well, sit down. No one.
But you can also, do it without saying it out loud, so, then you're prepared.
Yes, you see?
Wow, that was good.
Well, that's a good idea. If you have an idea how to change this word in Latvian, just let me know, so we will try to change it. But otherwise, my learning from this is actually from all those things we showed is that our markets are, in principle, very similar. They are like some little small things here and there different. And we can learn a lot from each other, and potential is huge. So don't learn from Latvian mistakes, or learn from Latvian mistakes. And one thing is clear, potential is huge, and brokers and insurers should do this work together. Insurers cannot do it alone, definitely.
But before I will let you go to a snack break, I would like to ask, do you see kind of any potential or area or topic what the Baltic countries on association level could do together?
I think we already agreed with Tuuli that we are quite deep in FIDA because we have our persons there, let's say, already for a while working in this working group. So we already agreed that that this person might run a seminar or some kind of seminar even for Estonians. So that's something we agreed on.
And also that if it comes and when it comes, we do our best to cooperate and also make recommendations so that we apply this similarly, or let's be honest, exactly the same way in all three Baltic states, if possible.
Wonderful. And do I understand correctly about this FIDA, you are thinking about to organize the seminars also for the companies, or only your association
of course, for our members, and if our partners want to join, I don't see a problem, why not?
Yes, brokers should actually join because brokers are part of this or will be part of this environment. So without brokers, it won't be functioning. So brokers should be listening as well.
Great. But thank you so much for coming.
Changing word, apdrošināšana, another one?
January, so
insurance tax.
Yes, so to consider that as well in all Baltic countries.
Well, the last conversation I had with our Ministry of Finance regarding insurance tax was actually this morning in Riga airport. And I asked, where are we, let's say, and can we is it coming or not? And the answer was still the same very polite and diplomatic one that no, we don't have it in our plans. But then always comes a big but. So I think it's just a question of time. And of course, knowing that Lithuanians are having this insurance tax from the 1st of January, and knowing those troubles they are having now, they are going through now, introducing this insurance tax, and I understood that there is a lot of questions regarding this insurance tax as well. It's not an easy walk, and I think it's just a question of time, and we will get this insurance tax as well. Because those ministries of finance, they talk to each other frequently, and all the state budgets, they need money. So I think it's just a question of time. Should we go by ourselves like an initiative to introduce the insurance tax? Okay, no. then the answer is no. Yes.
Yeah. Any other questions? Some ideas to share?
Good ideas.
Seems now everybody is waiting for the break, but thank you so much, Tuuli, coming, sharing your thoughts, and thank you so much, Jānis, coming, sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
We will have now half an hour break, actually 2 minutes more, and please be back at 3 o'clock.
good. Yeah, ABC.
Test.
hakkad nüüd segadust tekitama või? Tere, tore, et olete tagasi. Tundub, et read ei olegi väga palju hõredamaks läinud. Ehk meil on jäänud veel 2 olulist teemat sellel konverentsil. Tööandja tervisekindlustus, ravikindlustus. Ma hakkasin praegust muideks mõtlema, et issand, me pidime inglise keeles seda osa tegema. Olgu, alustame otsast peale. Let's switch to English. Sorry guys, I just forgot that we had to start in English. But we will have only 2 points left for this conference. And first one is employer self-insurance. That will be focus topics. We will have 3 persons from 3 different Baltic countries. So we will hear the 3 different views. And when, insurance award. Who knows who will get this prize? But to start, I'm happy to invite to the stage Kaspars from ERGO Baltics. Janika from ERGO Estonia. And Arūnas from PZU from Lithuania. By the way, during the break, quite many people came to me and said that, oh, Diana, I wanted to actually ask something, but I didn't. I was in the front row, so please come from front row to first one. So please, this is the time you can also talk along, think along, ask questions. And in order to get kind of feeling about the health insurance in this auditorium, there is a small Slido for you to answer. And during that time, when you will answer and open your phones to this Slido, I have a chance to ask some questions from our speakers. Kaspars, if your manager will come and say, here is a bulk of budget you could use for automation in your job, what would be the first thing you will automate?
You mean automate?
Yeah.
Like IT?
Would it be IT, AI, robotics, whatever? Something that you shouldn't do yourself.
Okay. I would say I would work with user experience, because in Latvia, for example, we have one company who has done a great job. They have done a lot of automatization. They can settle the claim in 5 minutes. So you use your app, submit the check for the health insurance, and within 5 minutes the money is in your account. But do you believe these clients which have this insurance, they are more happy? They are not. So this is about what the client expectation is about and what we can deliver in order to increase it. And this is the balance of. So it's not faster, better, but this is what the client fits and what the client needs. So I would invest in user experience in that sense.
Okay, thank you. I was thinking that it could be the boring emails answering coming every day to get rid of these emails, but it's good that you're thinking to the customers. Janika, how did you kind of happened to be in health insurance? Why have you chosen the health insurance?
There are 2 reasons, actually. One is my father.
Oh.
He was working in liikluskindlustusfond, and that is my first touch point with insurance. He was expert in cars, but health insurance, when I graduated 12th grade, then all these graduates who have 4s and 5s on their very, very good graduators, they got the ticket to the vallavanem, county manager.
Yeah, head of a county, maybe.
Yeah, and day or two before that, we went there to meet this guy. My neighbor died. And they had a question that, how do you feel? How is this doctor's care in our county? Are you satisfied? In year 1996, I was asking this kind of question. So I don't know, maybe it's a karma, but now I am in this field, and for the 8 years already. So before that, I didn't know anything about voluntary health insurance. So.
Thank you. Seems that you are really passionate about the health insurance and one of the best experts, as Kaspars said, in Estonia. But Arūnas, you are underwriter, head of underwriting unit. Why underwriting? What's your passion in underwriting?
So underwriting is more or less some kind of the science, some kind of the art. My previous profession was like a biochemistry before the insurance. It's more or less like a science, and as my additional like say free time experience is to play accordions like an art. That's underwriting. It fits.
Thank you. So exciting. Yeah, well, we have the answers. You will see it here. And surprisingly, we also have here the people who doesn't have health insurance cover from the employer. But majority of you are fans of health insurance. And I will give over the pult to you, Kaspars. Please start with introducing us to the topic, to the health insurance.
Thank you very much. So first of all, thank you for providing the opportunity to be here today and to share the insights for the health insurance from Latvia view. And when we were preparing for this event, we had like small discussion that maybe let's have the big picture in the beginning and then let's go country by country in order to explain how different we are. As we had only 1 hour, so it was like what really to say today, because it's a lot of what we could talk, and then we made the best guess of our idea today. So one issue, when I compared Jānis, we had in springtime this association meeting in Latvia, yeah? It was spring. So one issue is the same also in Estonia and Latvia. So first rows are quite empty, last rows are very busy ones. So again, one similarity, what I see, we are on the same page, compared countries. So health insurance seems like sky is blue, water is blue, sandy beach, perfect weather. That's how it looks from the outside. But is it really like that? This is the agenda. So common view for the Baltics and then country view. And when we look on our countries, so general data, we know it all. And as already in Jānis' presentation indicated, then of course in Latvia the health share is the biggest one when we think about insurance lines. And of course it did not happen by one period or some special moment, but this is historical development. But when we look on the overall trend, we see that, of course, in all countries, the health line is growing and growing a lot. When we look on the view, then as already indicated, as the same with the Tuuli and Jānis, so we know how big the market is and the market players are where they are.
And when we look on the country view, then we see those pillars here, and we see that Lithuanians try to also to catch up the market. Latvia is not anymore the dinosaur in the Baltic countries, but Estonia is still quite small. And when we look on the insured count of the people or our clients, then we can say that, you know, on average in Estonia, 1 out of 10 is insured. In Lithuania, 2 out of 10 are insured. And in Latvia, currently 6 out of 10 persons which are economically active are with the health insurance in their pocket. But one issue we have to keep here in mind that in the Baltics, typically the health insurance is the group business, so that means that the employer is buying the health insurance. When we look on the bigger picture on the Europe, then typically it's more individual business there than the group business. So we are kind of a little bit different. Comparable model, I would say, is in Belgium, to some extent in Greece and Spain, but all other countries historically have been developed for the private sector more. So each individual is buying his health insurance there. And then there are cross-subsidies, how an employee can compensate it back, and so on, so on. So this would be the short common view. And then when we talk about Latvia already, so where the money comes from, or why the clients are buying the health insurance. And there is one easy answer, and the easy answer is that this healthcare ecosystem needs some money. It's like Jānis said, animal. An animal needs some food, and the food is the money. And then the question is how this industry is financed. And in Latvia, historically, financing has never been there. But this is, again, the same common factor for the Baltics. When we would look on all 3 Baltic countries, and we would ask to Arūnas how he feels, and Janika how he feels, and you would ask to me, Kaspars, how you feel, we would all feel that in other countries it's better. I'm talking now about health industry as such, because we have those, you know, feelings. Some time ago in Latvia, we had a lot of cars with the Estonian number plates, you know. Because of tax regime, of course, we had those cars. And then some taxes were changed, and those cars disappeared from Latvia, you know. Because sometimes when you go to the shopping mall, there was a lot of people whom I could say Teda, but they're answering normal Latvian language, like apdrošināšana, you know. It's not a problem for them. And then also some time ago, a lot of Latvian people choose Estonian, this digital citizenship, or I don't know how to call it. And you know why? Again, of course, taxes and a lot of, but one of the issues, again, about healthcare system, in Latvia, we have, like every citizen has a national guaranteed healthcare environment, but there is exact list what is covered, and then what is not in the list, this is not covered. In Estonia, you don't have such list. So when you would have a problem, and you would have this problem very specific one, so you would be 1 out of 1 billion, I don't know, with some special disease, your government would pay the money in order to get you in Germany for the treatment. In Latvia, we would have the donations in the internet that people will give the money for people to go somewhere for the medicine. So there are a lot of those tiny issues which at the end combines the full picture, but the full picture consists of the money. And here's the split. The split is based on OECD data. It's 2023 report. Such reports are available for all countries in Baltic and also in Europe. You can compare how it goes on. It's interesting reports. You can find there the number of the beds in the hospital, how many medicine people are spending for, and a lot of information is there. And one issue is that you see your country, but you can also compare how your country looks with other comparable countries with specific data. So, but to take it short, so Europe is there, Latvia is half of Europe in the money-wise. So when the money is not there, it's space for the insurance. And insurance, typical part, what we are insuring, this is part which is not compensated by the government. Because when government is compensating something, you don't need your health insurance. Everything is good with you. But when there is not cover for that, then the insurance step in. And for this part, this is again 2023 report. This is based on 2021 data. And then in Latvia, this out-of-pocket, OOP, it's 27%. Now the freshest data in 2025, we have the data, and this share has risen up to 35% because of inflation at the place from 2021, so 4 years, and this gap is increasing. And voluntary health insurance, you see, this is this 4%, is only a small part of that pie. So this is where the insurance step in. Where the money is spent, so where the money goes, which is not what is not compensated. So not compensated are these elements here. So typically it's dental care, it's pharmaceuticals, so medicine in apotheca. Then there is inpatient cost, which is when you go to the government hospital, you have to pay some small fee for every service which you get. And then long-term care also is for us only a small share, but when we look on the future outlook, we all will get older, we will need some treatments, and this long-term care is also part of the game, which is not currently covered at all. But the story is not about that, what the government is providing or not. The story is that when we have the problem, we have to visit the hospital. And when we visit the hospital, we need some doctor or nurse which can help us. So easy as that. And this is good comparison again out of this report. On the left side, you see how many nurses are in the countries per 1,000 population on average. And on this line, you can see how many practicing doctors are per 1,000 people in population. So what we see, in average in Europe, we have 8-point-something nurses per 1,000 people, and we have 4-point-something doctors per 1,000 people. So is it good, is it bad? I don't know, but this is the statistics, and that's what it is about. And then when we look in Norway, we see, yeah, there are a lot of nurses and not a lot of doctors. Maybe they feel good. But when you talk with Norwegian guys, they also say the same, that they don't feel good, the same as we. So never good in the health environment. But OK, when we look on us, so Latvia is there. Estonia is there. So Arūnas, you can feel proud. You are in much better, how to say, line. At least doctors in Lithuania, we have more, and nurses are close to the average. But for Estonia and Latvia, so we can feel that we have the gap. And it's long-term, it's a big problem, because whatever you go, government or private, you need the doctor and the nurse for whatever purposes you would like to have your service received. And then when you look on the insurance, so this connection, that there is demand and we can offer something. So this is Latvian insurance market. You can see the number of insured count. So last year it was 480,000 total. And you can see how the premiums rise up. So of course, after COVID times, some inflation was there, and we felt it quite straightforward. And the claims were not growing so fast. This year is a game changer. So the market is not anymore growing so fast, but claims are growing with double digit, and the first number is 2. So around 21–23% is the current inflation for the claims in 2025. But you see that newcomers in the market, so this is when you compare insured person count year to year, it's growing. And people are interested in this insurance cover. And what's going on with average premium, you also can see. It's just when you compare gross written premium in market and divide by number of insured persons. So it's a mix of Greek salads, but on average, we can see what's going on there. And then the story about the market. So the market started in 1993. So that was the time of the Wall Street in Baltics, a lot of factors. So we in Latvia had more than 60 banks at that moment. And then in Estonia, it was 25, and Lithuania around 30. So we were the Wall Street in the Baltics. In insurance, in 93, in Latvia, there were 25 companies. In Lithuania, it was already 32. So insurance is coming from their side more than in Latvia. But health insurance was provided by, out of 25 companies, by 4 already in 93. So what they covered this government fee, which you have to pay when you go to the hospital, and increased service for the bed when you are in the government hospital. So this was the beginning of the insurance. Then in the middle, we had even Riga municipality had their own insurance company, which was offering the health insurance, which was the main driver of them. Of course, this company at the end get bankrupt because they sold the policies for individuals, for medicine cover, and typical client was the one who bought the policy, and next day he went to the hospital. Surprise, surprise. And then around 2026, the situation more stabilized. We also introduced the tax benefits. So before that, it was even without tax benefits. So it was a lot of options to play with the covers and factors. And now from the last year, we have cover increased to 750. 750, it's not good, not bad. Average premium market is a little bit more than 400. So, but when we look on the cover, what would be your guess, for example, in ERGO portfolio in Latvia, what is the lowest premium which we can offer for the group cover for the employee? So would it be 25 euros or 45 euros, the cheapest policy annually for employee? 25, 45, your guess? 25, 45? 45, yeah, you are right. So 45 would be the cheapest policy which you could buy, and that would cover only this government fee when you go to the hospital or you visit your private doctor. So it's small cover, but still you can get the policy for around 2 euros per month. And then your estimation, what is the most expensive policy? So it could be around 2,000 euros or 3,000 euros annually per employee. Your guess, 3,000, 2,000, 3,000, 2,000. Okay, I see 50-50 now. About 45, it was more or less. So in our portfolio, it's 2,000. And the trigger there is that this policy is a really good one. It's like golden credit card, but still, it's not covering everything. But this is the psychological ceiling where client is saying it should not pay more compared to other stuff what you are paying for from the benefit package. It's just already the ceiling. And when we look on this big picture, because I see on the clock the time is running quite fast, so SME clients, so those small companies are the ones which are entering now, because historically the market developed the first were the international companies, of course, then the local big ones, then the government started to buy, so municipality, government companies, then the medium ones, and the last one joining are the small and medium enterprises. For us, government purchases in the market, also government is buying the health insurance. Last year, by the way, was the first year when also health ministry bought the policies, because before they could not buy them because they had interest of the conflict. So for the finance ministry, no interest conflict. For other ministries, no interest conflict. But for the health ministry, it's interest of the conflict because they have to care about the people, that they can get the access, so they don't need the health insurance, you know. But it's big chunk of the overall market. And then what I wanted to say is here this employee's view and employer's view. Currently in Latvia, the problem is that when you would ask on Net Promoter Score on average for employer, how you feel about it. Employer feels it's just more expensive year to year, and the ceiling somewhere was already maybe reached. But when you would ask to employer or employee, he would say, I want better because I'm going there and it's not working and I have this not covered, that not covered, and maybe this and more massage, more tests, more diagnosis, everything. So it's kind of say easy and not easy on the same time. And when we look on the product, so in Latvia we have this price list concept which we call. So in Estonia and Lithuania you have deductible, so you go, part you pay by yourself, another part is paid by insurer. In Latvia we have fixed price level which is compensated when you go. And it's like insurance company is always paying fixed amount. So for example, average now, this price list is 45 euros in Latvia. When you would say what's the most frequent one? And then we can play with this, that when you go to medicine institution A, B, or C, maybe something is covered there, maybe something covered there. And then it's a really good tool for this stopping of price increase or for inflation control. Flexibility is on a high level. In Latvia, you can have the blood tests, you can have a different blood tests, and you can have a blood test even individual based on your preferences. So this detailed view is very specific, and it's typically offered by main competitors in the market. Okay, key trends you see, it's not a secret, but this question about quantity was quality, this is also now on the table. And historically, the product was developed, there was such cover, then typically someone is adding some additional cover on the top, and then the question is, you want your health insurance with 100 risks, where everything is insured with €50 limit, so small one, but a lot of everything. Or you want that you have 10 risks with larger sums. When you have your problems, then you know that insurance will cover that. So currently, I would say Latvia is more on this quantity. We have a lot of covers, small limits. And then the question is it good or bad? Because everybody are focused on the small issues. You do your blood test annually. So blood test is on average more than one time per year every client goes on blood test. And the price of blood test, you know very good. The question is, when you would survive and you would have to pay your blood test by your own? I believe more or less yes. But when there would be a big problem and you would have the option to go to the private hospital and get your problem solved on a fast track with good service, you would expect that this is paid, I guess, because this is a really big problem and long term it would affect a lot. An employee would get employee faster back with better outlook. And then the question is what we are offering, and this is this user experience or client view, or we can think how to call this. But this is this quantity with quality. So currently in Latvia, I would say we are more on this quantity, and the quantity together with the inflation, that's tricky. About claims, we have an online claims transaction network. So this is the same principle as you have in the shopping center with your bank card. So that works in Latvia for the medical services. It was introduced by insurance companies. We feel good about that because this gives this flexibility and this option to tailor-made the covers. But of course, when there is one service provider in the market, it's also a little bit of, how to say, tricky stuff, because when there is one service provider, guess who is running the rules in the market? And when we think about our partner network or the hospitals, of course, our market is small. What we see that the biggest companies are getting bigger. And long-term wise, we don't see that the competition there is on a high level. And that means for us that we have to be focused on the future setup. And this trend set for the services, this is also a big part of the game, because what we see, a lot of the segments have more potential about technology, which is now available. So the clients are visiting doctors more often about prophylactics, which is good. But this is the part of the game which you can spend a lot of money already today. And then you don't have the premium for those classical risks which we have. And on top of that, of course, there is healthcare system in general. So these are all the regulations, validations, and all the setups and rules, how it's working on. For this year, we feel safe because elections in Latvia will be next year, you know. So that's why next year is under control in a way. But I believe next year, autumn, we will have some, again, good news or bad news, whatever news, and then we have to be very careful about that. My time has run out. I will give the word to Janika to continue about Estonian good view. But stay healthy, take care, and when you have good health insurance in your pocket, this can always be a good stuff for you and for our clients. So Janika, can I ask you to join?
Thank you. Any questions, maybe, about Latvia?
All the questions after the three presentations have been made, if it's okay. And I hope that you have a good memory to recall your questions.
But just 1 minute listening to you, I'm really looking forward for this FIDA, FIDA. The policy, D-vitamin out, D-vitamin in, blood test out, blood test in. Super. Very clear and simple, and I like what Tuuli said in the introduction. Everyone has to understand. So good luck. Okay, talking to Estonians in English is odd, but I will try to manage it. Healthcare system in Estonia, probably most of you are familiar with it, but what I would like to point out that we, from governmental system, pay out a lot of money for outpatient, but not so much to inpatient. So it's a question that people are walking around needing inpatient and don't get it, or what? What is the question? Outpatient is when you go to the doctor. Very good point, because not many people maybe know what is it. You go to a doctor for a consultation, doctor prescribes you some kind of analysis, diagnostics, tests. This is outpatient treatment, and inpatient treatment usually is hospitalization. Hospitalization, when you go due to disease or some trauma, you go to the hospital and you get treated there. Very good point, thank you for clearing that. Also, what we can see, pharmaceuticals and medical devices is also some pretty good money going out. A long-term care, I will tell you how long you will live for the next slide. But no, even here, yeah. The question was that, do you know how long you will live? If we're talking about Estonians, this 78.5, it's a history. Like you said, it's from 2021. So today it's 79. So we are ahead of our Latvian and Lithuanian colleagues. So live longer, but how we'll live, this is another question. We have a very high patient contribution. This is the money that we pay out of our own pockets. Please raise hand who has not paid anything for health services this year. Nothing. No medicine, no dental, nothing. Lucky you. But most of us are not so lucky, so this is a problem. So we are 22%, and even Tervisekassa, okay, the guy is not in the management anymore, but he said that it's too high. So 22% we just pay additionally to our taxes. So EU only 14. And to add there this wage difference and stuff like that, it's not a very good picture for us. Growing deficit of doctors, growing deficit of money. This is common news, we hear it every day probably on the public news, and this is not very good either. So, it doesn't work. Oh, there. Good. Out-of-pocket spending, Kaspars was presenting also that it's too high. We give so much money on dental care. What is wrong with us? It's like huge amount, 30%. I don't remember what was yours. It was half. Half. Only half. So 30% dental care. Are we like going there for fun or for prophylactics, or I have no idea. Moreover, people take also loan. If you go to a dentist and you have to get those braces, you know, young people mostly, but also older people, it costs fortune. And one recent survey says that people take loan for that, for medical service, and pay interest. In addition, if we compare again to the averages, dental care 10 versus dental care 30%. Pharmaceuticals. Although, according to researchers, it has become better because somewhere in 2020 or somewhere there, it was changed that how much the state health insurance pays for these pharmaceuticals which are prescribed by the doctor, and what is your own out-of-pocket money. It's like 50% if it's 100 euros and 90% if it's 300 euros per year. So probably it has decreased, but still it's quite high. And not to mention these over-the-counter medicines that we buy, vitamins, food supplements, to add top on it. Okay, but that's this environment that we are in our everyday life. Again, wrong direction. And from this out-of-pocket spending, there is a money that is could spent to something else, could be spent to something else, but we have to pay for medical service. And here is also where voluntary health insurance can step in. Don't have to, but can step in. And if we are looking at our market, then we had a tremendous growth. As you can see, growth of insured people, growth of claims eventually, of course. And now we are like stuck, not the right word. We are growing still, but it's not so rapid anymore. We are not trying to substitute our national health insurance system, that's for sure. We are trying to add some value in this big, complex puzzle named healthcare. This is our part today. Maybe it will change in the future, but today. So if we want to grow the market, then actually it was said that the experience of the end user, insured person, counts. So we would like to offer something that counts to our customers. But today we have this 400 euros that is since 2018. No changes there. And what happened? If we take when we started 2018, because we started along a little bit earlier, but I would say that in Estonia still this voluntary health insurance market started when the tax law changed. And this fringe benefit tax was had changed, and 400 euros per person, who doesn't know, yes, per person, employer can invest or pay this insurance premium, 400 euros per employee per year. What this person gets for this 400 euros is much more. The claims can be several thousands of euros. But as all Baltic countries, inflation, medical inflation, it affects the outcome. And what is the insurance word was mentioned, combined ratio, which cannot exceed 100%. Yes, who doesn't know this is this trigger, which we have to bear in mind to stay on a profitable side. We are stuck there. And if this premium level cannot increase, so for us it's a problem. We cannot keep the same level of policy risks, what we are offering, this value, what we are offering to our customers. We have to decrease it year by year to fit into those 400 euros. But the need is growing. The frequency is growing, need is growing because we are getting older, average age is rising, and in addition, we need more medical care. So, to bring it all together, from the client perspective, the expectation is there, you cannot deny it. The expectations are growing. And 82%, this is our survey that we did with CV Online, gives an answer that most of the employees are expecting this benefit, if we call it so, which is insurance still, but benefit. And from employer's view, employer wants to keep this 400 euros, because more than that, all spending will be taxed. And that is a problem. That is a trigger for employer. They don't want to pay additional tax because they already pay taxes from other benefits that they offer to employees. So from product-wise, we are like in the middle there, that we will try to offer something that benefits employee and also sticks with this 400 euros premium annually. And what have happened over the years with the product? Policies concluded a couple of years ago, had 0 deductible. Today market normal is 20% deductible. So out-of-pocket expenditure, it increases. Also in private health insurance, because there is this 400 euros. Wide range of risks. From employees' view, they want all. Dental, mental, outpatient, inpatient, vaccines, prophylactics, glasses, why not? And then there is this 400 euros and the employee does not pay more for premium, so range of risks has decreased. High limits but restricted coverage. Simplicity. I really like this FIDA thing. Simplicity. Limit 10,000, but what does it include? Does it meet the customer's expectations? Does it still meet it? Unchanged tax-free benefit level. At the end of this, the proposition that we were so eager to offer it to employers, and they were so eager to offer it to their employees, and they understand that it's beneficial and it keeps the employee happy and supports during some life event, maybe someday it is very necessary to go to this private clinic. Not always, but some points of life. So that means that this proposition devalues over the years. And our aim is to keep this product valuable to employees and employers. So this is something that I would like to point out for Estonia, that together we should aim to that, to keep those out-of-pocket expenditures on as low level as possible, but from the other hand, if we have those barriers that employers are no longer willing to pay more, or not willing to pay more, then that is for us is a problem, that we cannot squeeze a lot into those 400 euros premium anymore. And law changes. That is really interesting that how income tax law changes affect our product. For example, massages, recovery massages, occupational health risk mitigation. Yes, occupational doctor prescribed massages as physiotherapist, and law has gone to a little bit more to this wellness part, or we are more strict. We would like to be medically indicated service insurers. And any change that the law makes has direct consequences to our product. What changes? Either this coverage will be still in insurance, or it will be somehow directly financed to the employee. So these are also the questions that we have to think in the future, that what way do we want to go? Do we want to cover those medically prescribed services, which are necessary for the employee to go to work, to not be on the sick leave for a very long time, or we want to go the other way, covering those wellness, nice to have, and aesthetic things. This is probably up to us. And finally, claims, automatization. In health insurance, the frequency of claims is significantly higher than in P&C because one person does not have usually only one claim. It's repetitive. One person can have several claims during insurance period. And automatization in this product field is crucial. We were talking about experience, customer experience. So in health insurance, this is really important that the claims handling process is smooth, simple, FIDA, and understandable. Today, it is so employees who have health insurance probably don't understand why we ask so much documentation, why it's such a hassle for them. But this is something that we need to do unless we want to go to the wellness side and cover pocket money instead of really critical treatment where we can give our input as voluntary health insurers. I have 3 minutes. Maybe some comments and questions in 3 minutes.
Thank you. I wanted to clarify that I first time heard of this tax benefit. Does this tax benefit mean that premium and tax benefit for employers are equal most of the time?
That means that tax benefit means that any kind of employer can spend up to 400 euros on insurance premium, health insurance premium per year annually, if the employer is offering this to all of its employees. This is the law. In addition, there are like sports, there are like other massages, psychology services, also within this tax relief sentence. But your question is that, is this premium equal to all employers? Like, does every employer pays the same 400 euros for the same coverage? Or
what they normally do if there is such a tax benefit? How are they paying more premium or under?
It depends, because voluntary health insurance is not on priority list for Estonian employers. It's additional like benefit. I don't know, in different companies it's on the different level when it comes to the table. But usually they would like to stick with this 400 euros. And they don't want to pay more because it means some administrative burden anyway. They have to report it. They have to keep this statistics. If it's 400 euros, then it has a free and it's organized. But there are employers, of course, who don't have policy with 400 euros premium. It can be smaller. I mean, 400 euros is just the top maximum, but you can have policy for employees with premium 200, 250, 300, whatever the employer decides. How much? Because it's a benefit that you give to employee, and you wouldn't want to take it away again, yes? Yeah. So.
And now I understood that this is anyway cost for employer?
Yes.
Just up to that limit it is tax-free. And if they would buy
yes.
With higher premium, then it would be even taxed. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. You see, it's again coming from industry, you assume that everybody knows what it is. Thanks for the question. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, I have a question to Kaspars. We have this issue in Estonia that basically our politicians said officially that increasing this 400 euros is a kind of tricky part, and the reason for that is that basically rich people will get a better coverage and poorer will have less. So what would you say to that? And out of your Latvian experience, so basically you probably get the point that politicians are afraid that rising this 400 euros, it will motivate private hospitals to get or to employ more doctors from public sector, and then we kind of get this that more people are employed by public sector and they are getting more power, and it means that people who are kind of rich people will get the better coverage instead of those poor. So what are your thoughts regarding that out of your Latvian experience?
Thank you for the question. So my answer would be that, to make simple answer, okay, let's cut it to zero. So let's not allow private medical institutions at all in the country. Would that solve the issue with the healthcare environment? Would then be the life perfect? We would have just government hospitals, that's it. No, we have queues there, so there are the problems. That's why the private sector is stepping in. And what the private sector, of course, is doing, they are taking the easy money, because all the complicated surgeries, heart issues, psychological issues, a lot of these long-term problems, those are always the problem of the government, and they will never have perfect financing for that. But there are a lot of the diagnosis and a lot of other services which can be done by the privates as well. This is, from government perspective, easy money. On the other hand, this is the private sector which classically does the service for the cheaper, more expensive, because they are flexible and they can adapt and so on and so on. So my answer would be that in Latvia it works like this additional financing. Yes, of course, it drives also some competition in between. On the other hand, this is the financing for the industry. And when you miss the financing for the industry, and typically the government is lacking the money already, so there is some deficit running. So this is the way how you can, by employers, subsidize the healthcare environment. And much more, even when we compare ourselves in Baltics to the Europe, I would say that we are just now fighting with the problem when we really have already the problem. So when it's bad and we are in the hospital or next to the doctor's office. But we should also spend the money for the prevention, not to go to the hospital. And this is also a big chunk of the insurance business which can help with this issue. So this is that the clients get the service, for example, diagnosis and so on, in order not to get in the hospital. So then the government would not have the problem anymore. And this is, of course, needed to be subsidized or financed. And then insurance classically works as one of the tools. And I would say that typically in Baltics, we always think we will be smarter. But when we compare to the Europe, in Europe, these models are working. So we don't have to introduce new bicycle. Only when the elections come, we want to use this trigger. Is it good? Is it bad? And that's always the game. So we have the same in Latvia. Is it good? Is it bad? It is as it is.
Thank you. I would like to go forward with Arūnas to give a chance to talk about Lithuania as well.
Hello, everyone. Thank you to organizers to be invited here to share my insights. Nice to see you. So big audience looking the knowledge about the health insurance, and my presentation will be slightly different from colleagues because they introduced a lot of knowledge inside the product, inside the customer experience, inside the claims experience. I know that in Estonian market, health insurance is starting to develop only, and we have also the experience in Lithuania, like also developing market, like a health insurance market, with all the troubles, with all the mistakes, and not how maybe you find out the way how to avoid those mistakes. So in Lithuania we have, as in every country, compulsory health system, like a state system with a special foundation, with a special our taxes coming to that foundation, and in Lithuania, in the jargon title or working title, we are talking directly about the health insurance. But in reality, it's like in Latvia, like in Estonia, it's a supplementary health insurance. And I'm from underwriting area. More or less, I like the graphs, figures, and some explanation based on that. How the insurance market, health insurance market in Lithuania we have developed, looking back in the years. The start was early 2000s, where only maybe 2 companies started to introduce health insurance. And still in 2010, we had such a small insurance market related to the health services that it was maybe about only 30,000 persons insured. And after that, it started to be like a growth of the private health service providers, and started to grow also number of insurers introducing health insurance in Lithuania. And the growth was starting to be like an exponential growth. Until 2010, the growth was more or less quite a silent growth. But in 2009, it was introduced a personal income tax relief. In this law, it was said that if the company pays the premium for the employee, which related to the health insurance, it off of the personal income tax for the person, and also differently taxed from the company point of view. If you increase the salary, you pay more taxes as a company as you motivate your employee introducing health insurance and paying the premium for health insurance. And starting from 2010, the market started to increase quite heavy. And 2016 was the year maybe where the exponential growth was seen very, very optically good into the curve. Between 2010 and 2016, because the growth was quite slow, a lot of health insurers started to include into the cover something like a non-medical services, like shampoos, like massages, like pools, sports. And in 2009, it was something like a special declaration. No, not 2009. Yes, 2015, I think. 2015, it was a special declaration from tax authorities saying that, no, it's not allowed. We should make a very clear definition. What is a medical services? What is a non-medical services? And it should be stated and divided into different premiums if you are including that into a health insurance policy. And non-medical services cannot be inside this personal income tax scheme. So from that time, all those pools, all those massages and shampoos are out of the medical services list, and every euro paid for the premium for those non-medical services should be taxed by personal income tax. It's not forbidden to include that into the cover, but it should be showed the premium and appropriately taxed. So from 2016, when our company also stepped into the health insurance market, the growth was quite impressive. You see that in 2020, when the COVID came, the growth was also here. As Jānis mentioned, COVID not stopped insurance business in Baltic states. It was a little bit slowed down, but from 2021 till 2024, the growth of health insurance market in Lithuania was quicker as an exponential trend, as you can see. What does it mean? Why am I showing this exponential trend? And the graph on the right. On the right, you can see also the same premiums, written premiums in the market, but only from 2016, and indemnity payment. Also like a graph which is a dark green, yeah? It means that indemnity payments also were growing. 2020 a little bit stopped that because of the COVID, because the restrictions in the movement, because of the restriction to go to the doctors or something like that. But after that, immediately started to grow up, immediately together with written premiums in the market. Written premiums in the market and indemnity payments, if they are both growing exponentially, what does it mean? It means that the companies are starting to aggressively price and enter the market also aggressively. I tried to make another one graph, which is written here as a loss ratio, but it's not a real loss ratio. It's a indemnity payment in the market divided by written premiums in the market in percentage. And I have got very interesting curve here. You see that in 2020, this ratio decreases immediately because the movement was stopped and the people were not looking for a doctor, so maybe some annual diseases were stopped a little bit, but after that, immediately you see that the curve goes up. And what happened in 2024? It's a reality which could be a mistake or misjudgment in the market, for example, in Estonia too. If the companies are starting to grow, for example, like a health from 2021 till 2023, the losses are also growing. And if you have the written premiums only in the market, those written premiums could be something like written at the end of the year. And you have getting such a reality which we in the underwriting world are calling like a cash flow underwriting, when you are paying your today claims from future incomes. What does it mean? Written premium, you understand very correctly. If you would like to understand what does it mean in reality loss ratio here, please add about 15 to 20 percentage points to the graph in the dark green. You would see that loss ratio or maybe the indemnity payments would be immediately above 100%. And at the end of the 2023, when the companies are seeing, at the end of the 2022, when the companies are seeing that something is wrong happening, we are steadily having losses from this portfolio, we need to make some adjustments with our underwriting, with our processes. So they increased the prices. They changed a little bit attitude to the deductible or compensational percentage, not compensating 100% for the services, but starting to go down till 80 or 50%. And what's happening in 2024? It looks like maybe something goes in the very right direction. The market still increases because we're getting still more premium and losses a little bit are stopping. But it's a very dangerous point because market was very loss-making market, and you stopped only that. And a lot of companies seeing such a figures started again to go into dumping of the health insurance pricing, health insurance processes, and our market again is a softening. And after a certain time, I'm sure that some of the companies, after the final calculations, will have again the problems with their own loss ratios and the profitability of the portfolio. So, what was the factor how was developing our insurance market in Lithuania? First of all, as I mentioned, 2009 it's a personal income tax, and then the problem in the compulsory health system of the country. As you both already mentioned, always the problem was the queues, the simple services have no ability to be served for the patients, not enough doctors, not enough even the providers, state providers, and the health insurance was growing together with the health providers, with the number of health providers. Of course, there are some very heavy procedures, very difficult processes in the compulsory health system institutions, which are also in the quality very good comparing to other countries, but the low-level services were very uncomfortable, and that led growth number of health providers and the number of health insurance providers. I mentioned already about the tax office clarification, and I also mentioned that companies itself started to understand that health insurance could be like a motivation for their employees. They started to think how to create employees incentive programs, how to include some wellness programs into health insurance. And another two problems is problems for our today's life. It's a shortage of high qualified employers. You could keep them only providing some motivation schemes, which could be also health insurance inside, and new ESG strategy. Under ESG strategy, social and governance also answers to the question, are we complying with this new ESG strategy? Shortly about the basic scope of covering health insurance in Lithuania. You explained a lot how it works, how it looks like. It's almost the same in Lithuania. We have something like a group of services combined into bigger groups. So basic cover contains of outpatient treatment, which is ambulatoria, something like that, everything what relates to ambulatoria. Outpatient treatment could be like a mandatory, obligatory in every policy. Then we have some additional service groups, and those service groups could have their own limits for indemnity payment per person, or what is very wrong in our market, in my opinion, those groups could be combined into one big group, which we call like a free limit, and you go to the medical institution or medical service provider, and you have all the services what you need at that time. It's simply like a redirection the money. Normally, the insurance cover is not anymore insurance cover, redirection the money if you are introducing free limit. But because the health insurance market in Lithuania is highly controlled by brokers, you cannot influence as a one health insurance provider how to change the system. To change the system, it should be something like a very high loss ratio, or something other fluctuations, or maybe tax problems in the country. Of course, large and important clients have the individual covers. We are trying to include also something like a very strict insurance, according to insurance understanding medical services, but nothing to do regarding that. Maybe the same is in every country. And about taxation system, everyone now is talking about the changes in our tax system in Lithuania, what could happen or what would happen starting from the 1st of January. First of all, our security contribution tax. It would be introduced, not it been implemented from the 1st of January of 2026 for all non-life insurance products, like general insurance products, excluding private MTPL and livestock, and crop, if someone is doing crop in Lithuania. What does it mean? It's something very special, not a VAT. VAT is forbidden in European Union for insurance policies to apply, but the system works like VAT. Law itself, it's a very strange written, but written in such a form that every quarter, insurer from written that quarter incomes pays 10% tax. And this tax should go to the defense budget, like a security, for the security purposes. What is very interesting here, that it looks like from the law that insurer should pay that tax, not the insured persons or insured companies. But we have the very clear explanation now from our regulator that no, insurer is only responsible to collect this tax. that it's very good for us, and then we could apply this 10% in addition to the premium and then pay those taxes. What is the second point is very interesting. The payment of this tax is bound to the signing date of the contract. What does it mean? If you have policy starting in the validity from the 1st of June of 2026, but you are signing the contract in December, tax would be not applied. What does it mean, the signing the contract? According to civil code in Lithuania, the signing of the contract is something like one of the three possibilities. One is if you sign a contract electronically or by hand, if you agree to the proposition, which was like for the insurance purposes, but you should that in the written form with the date or something like that, or if those 2 points are not fulfilled, you simply pay the premium according to the proposition you have got. So now in the market we have a lot of fluctuations, how to do with the renewals, how to do with all those things what relates to those taxation coming in Lithuania. But also the insurers community, business community, both are silently not discussing about that. No discussions at all. So it means that everyone understands the risk to be against the defense budget. Second thing, starting from the next year, is a personal income tax changes in the personal income tax law. So as in Estonia, 400 euros, in Lithuania would be maximum 350 euros per person to be paid by the employee for the purpose of the health insurance of the employers. Of course, you could pay more for the person, but those money should be taxed according to the personal income tax, and then this tax should be controlled by the employees. Market challenges. We have the quite high competitions for big top clients. They are generally not very profitable. About the 50% in the market are corporate clients. Very wide coverage. Market, again, starting after the period of profitability to be going to the loss-making area. And what is most important about the innovations? Innovations are good, and according to the understanding of customers' experience, according to our understanding, innovations are good, but it's very, very difficult to control them. Those innovations are impressive sometimes when you are introducing the claims management system to one combined claims provider of all companies. For example, if we are introducing the electronic cards for clients instead of the written bills or something like that, or if we're using apps. But those innovations to calculate, to spend the money for that, is very, very difficult to control. Another one is a very important thing is we stepped into the market in 2016. Market was highly controlled by brokers. And those brokers are applying, first of all, to the clients which are corporate clients, large corporate clients. SME segment is a little bit forgotten. So if you are developing the market development should go, first of all, in SME segment, and then you think about the large corporates. Large corporates are very, very loss-making clients. Out of time, yeah? Maybe if you see something from those theses, what you have, the additional questions, maybe later on we could answer all those questions. Thank you very much.
Actually, Kaspars has made also a great overview slide for the 3 countries. Thank you for that, and thank you once again for a great presentation. And the question is that now it's time to have a discussion. Is there something that you would like to ask from presenters. Andres, Jānis. Oh, we will have a queue, yes.
Thank you for very interesting presentations. I just wanted to ask what is your personal opinion about the future of this health insurance in your particular countries? I mean, where is the level of market maturity that, what do you think that, say, for example, in case of Latvia, assuming that all the environment stays the same, that what could be the maximum level of people to be covered by private health insurance or employer's health insurance? And also, of course, the same question to Janika and Arūnas. Thank you.
So, if I start, then currently it's 60% of the employed are with the health insurance. So I believe that, and the last trend for last 5 years is that this growth is around 3% annually. And it's quite of logical due to this health ecosystem, how it works. I believe that we can still go on the same trend for the next 3-4 years still. The question will be about this premium level, because inflation is there, frequency is slowly growing, people get to know how to use the health insurance, and the medical service providers, of course, offer more and more options how to spend the money. So the problem I see is that long term, it's not about this penetration rate so much, but the problem would be about the price of the service. And then I believe that the future is like employer is paying part of the cover, and employees will have to pay part of their cover as well. So it will be mix of the financing. It's already currently for some cases in the market, but long-term wise, due to this inflation and frequency, it will become a standard. And then the question is, of course, what we can offer for that in order that this is still interesting for the client. Because the biggest difference is that when the employer is buying the policy, we see the frequency, but when the employee as such is paying his private money, then of course the view is that I want to get back my money, you know, and this is just natural, how we think. So that's why I believe in Latvia this will be the next challenge which we will face for.
That's very interesting that nobody never thinks that if I make a home insurance that I will get it back someday. But in Estonia, I have said it a million times probably, this 400 euros is a problem. Because we see that the employers are willing to pay more, but they don't want to hassle with this burdensome administrative activities that come with taxation. Our penetration is only 10%, so we 60% is a long shot. We have a long way to go there. I think that the Estonian market will still grow, maybe not so rapidly as we have been used to in a couple of years ago, but we will grow because if you look at employment advertisements, there are employers who are very proud to have such benefits in their capability that they can offer it to employees. And if the government is saying that only finance and IT is beneficial from this product, and it's not true. We have in portfolio already clients where employees don't get even the average salary, I presume. So even those who don't have very high income, they have this voluntary health insurance. And you remember this dental care, 30% out-of-pocket expenditures. I think that already today we help those with lower income, and they can afford something that they maybe would postpone in respect of medical services. So I think we will grow, but it depends on this, what value we can offer for this money that the employers are willing to pay.
About about Lithuania. It's a two future directions. One is my ideal direction, which I would not have the free limits, very high limits per service group, because very high limits is difficult to use it. Then you cannot spend only the money going to the doctor, and you can calculate the more or less the correct price per customer. But the real future would be very difficult in Lithuania next year. First of all is a 350 euros limitation. The next comes in force this additional security contribution tax. And from other hand, I didn't mention, and there is also some initiatives how to stop flowing the patients from the state compulsory system service providers to the private providers, and by limiting using the state health foundation money and so on. But still a discussion, but if it would be implemented, it would be very difficult. Of course, the 350 euros is not the main point, because from our portfolio, I would say only half of the clients have 350 euros maximum, and others have the higher limits, and those higher limits clients already renewed the contracts with the higher limits. It's not a big problem, because the employees are agreeing to pay personal income tax, because everybody now understands in Lithuania how difficult it is to reach to the simple doctor for the simple services. But tax issue would be main issue next year.
Jānis, you had a question.
I have a following question. I noticed that in Latvian presentation and Estonian presentation, I missed that point in Lithuanian presentation, but at least in Latvian and Estonian presentations, it was clearly said that there is a lack of doctors. And the question is, probably in Lithuania must be the same. So the doctors are, yes, it's a lack of doctors. So the question is it really an educational system which is not producing enough doctors? Or is it doctors are simply, or some of those doctors, ready-made new doctors, are going to other countries? Or it's a certification which is an issue? So which means that doctor, when he finishes a high school, university, he needs additional certification to work in a certain area like a doctor. So is it an issue of certification, lack of doctor, export of doctors, or not enough doctors from the educational schools, from universities? 3 options. Thank you.
I would answer that we had one interesting information this year, and the information was about the largest salaries for the doctors in Latvia. Just your guess again, like this or that. So when it could be 500,000 or 400,000 annually income for the doctor, best one. It's radiology, it's X-rays and so on. So 500,000 or 400,000 annually, largest income in Latvia for the doctor. Yeah, it was 400,000, but not bad for the months in average. So the answer there is that historically this was more like family oriented. So my father is the doctor, I am the doctor, and this industry was more family oriented. And now really when we look on the ones which are graduating the universities, because before universities were working, but the graduates amount was really less, because even people did not finish their studies. And the second point was that they graduated medical institutions, so they have the doctor degree, but they worked in other industries, even not in the medicine industry in general. And now, when we see that they are finishing the studies, they are working in the industry. So the answer is that this penetration rate of the students coming really to the industry, which is now changing in Latvia. But in general, you saw the number, we are far away from the where we should be.
I'm no expert in that. I cannot tell you the exact answer, but if you think, then I don't know. We have the situation. Like you need some kind of specialist. You have a referral letter from your doctor, and then you go online and start searching for a specialist. And then you see, tomorrow pay 100 euros, or after some time later, pay 20 euros. So I don't understand this, why we say that we don't have enough doctors, because if I pay, I have a doctor. If I don't pay so much, I don't have a doctor tomorrow. So, but no, this is a statistics. Statistics show that, yes, we don't have enough doctors. We have doctors who soon will be pensioners, and they will retire, and the problem will increase. So I don't have the right answer, probably.
In Lithuania, maybe it's I will not be very right with the answer, but the problem was not how to develop the doctor until the certification, because Lithuania always were overproducing doctors. But the problem was that salary system was very bad in the previous times, and some of the generation, which is now between 30 and 40 years, they simply left the country to another countries. But the generation which is now between 20 and 30 years, they're simply studying in Lithuania, learning in Lithuania, having the certification and staying in Lithuania. So the compensation system from the salary point of view is developed in a very, very good way now.
Thank you. We still have, oh, excellent.
One question more. Well, I have another question. So, do you have in mind any kind of better formula that we can have tax benefit indexed? Because we clearly see that if it's fixed, then there are a lot of disadvantage with inflation and so on. So do you see any other formula how we could index it? Perhaps like, I know, 25% of average income, and then if average income is increasing, then this amount will also increase. Any ideas regarding that?
It's a very difficult question, because it's absolutely independent decision of every company, of every person who is choosing that. We are not maybe able to answer as insurers to that question. It depends on every company which provides the health insurance for their employees. Profitability, stability of that company, and ability of those people to pay additionally the tax for the increased premium for that, not the 350 euros or maybe for 600 euros premium, and 250 should be taxed. So very difficult questions. And it's more difficult because the market consists of the clients which are more or less in Lithuania especially, the large corporate clients, which are more or less the shareholders partially or fully from abroad and so on.
Well, my question was more like if it's written in the law.
No,
my question.
No. In the law it's not written. In Lithuania.
Well, of course, we understand that it's not. But is this a good solution?
No.
I believe the question is always what is the aim of this regulation. So when it's this percentage point, so then it means that for the large corporates they even have more tax benefits. So, but they can afford to pay to some extent. For the small ones, why they don't buy? They don't buy because they are not having the financing already in general. So I would say that even this proportion should be vice versa, that for the small ones, when you want them to join in this system, so you have to have larger ceilings, and then maybe number of employees is one of the parameters, that when it's to some extent, it can be coordinated. But it's never perfect, because typically the ones who have the money, they have the money, and when we look on the Baltic states, so there are those industries like IT and other ones which are already spending a lot of money there, and this is not because they do it, it's the market standard. They are also fighting now with their employees to keep them not going away, to work in the other countries. So that's why the question is always, what is the aim of this tax regime? And I would say that when the aim is just to cut something like now in Lithuania, so when in Lithuania you would close the gates fully, you would anyway not solve the current problems. So in Estonia, when the tax limit is 400, And we want that we are, how to say, simple, we are client-oriented, so then the question is it really the aim of this 400 then? And does this 400 corresponds what you could buy some time ago for the 400, now you fulfill the petrol and you pay 100 already for one tank. So it should be in this balance to other costs, I would say. And in Europe, typically, when we look on other countries, really the models are very, very different. And typically, it's changed in the law when there is some idea, let's say, what you would like to motivate the budget to be open for. So it's not about limiting, but to open the gates. And then typically, there is some selection of the rules. So, but there is no one recipe for that.
In Lithuania, it was simply the aim to stop using the compulsory healthcare budget through the private service providers, because if the service could be compensated, if you have the treat with this fund, you could, as a private institution or the state institution, get those money, just to keep the flow through the state hospitals, state service providers. That's very simple.
Is something you would like to?
I think the question was a little bit different, correct? Because I understood your question in a way that can be, instead of writing 400 in a law, saying like something like 0.7 of the minimum salary, for example. We tried that one. Yes, or average salary, average is even more difficult, but there is, in each country there is a minimal salary. So we tried that exercise. And our Ministry of Finance said, no, guys, you won't get it, because otherwise, if we bind it to the minimal salary, it will increase every year. We don't want it. We want more tax to be paid.
In Lithuania, previously, it was very, very clearly and very good said in the law that premium should not be higher as a 25% from your personal income, like a person. If your salary grows, your income grows, it has some kind of indexation.
But maybe there is also one angle how you can look in this discussion, that there is this always alternative cost. So when we look currently in Estonia, there is 400, we saw the numbers, so every 10th of employed are with the health insurance, 9 are not with that. So the money is not spent there. So the alternative cost is that maybe when you increase this tax limit, there will be, how to say, more people which will have the cover. And this people which will have the cover, the government cost, how to say, to heal them, this is also not for free. So basically this opening gates, it's just switching money from one angle to another angle. It's not that the money is not there now. It is. It's just spent on different angle. And the question is, what is more sustainable long-term wise?
Thank you. It's getting more and more interesting, these discussions, and I hope that you will have a chance to discuss these topics further after the conference as well. But I would like to thank you very much for coming and spending your time and sharing your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now is the last part. And now I say that I should talk again in Estonian. I don't know why this EKSL and LKF are so picky that you have to talk in Estonian, you have to talk in English, and you have to switch. But let's have it in 2 languages. We will have insurance award announcement, but the speech will be, of course, in Estonian, I think. And I'm very happy to invite to the stage Tuuli and Marek for giving away the award.
Long time no see. Mul on nüüd üks keeruline koordinatsiooni ülesanne. Üks käsi ja teine käsi ja...
Saan ma kuidagi aidata?
Aga enne veel, kui ma siia sisse piilun. Väike eellugu ka. Meie aastateo konkursil osales 7 nominenti. Näitame neid ju ka, eks ju. Me näitame oma 7 nominenti. Mina õppisin Tartu Ülikoolis majandust kuni doktorikraadini ja mulle räägiti seal innovatsioonist. Üsna mitme loengu jooksul see, mis mulle meelde jäi, oli see, et iga innovaatori ehk siis julge hundi rind on haavleid täis. Ma sain täna teada kohvinurgas, et enamik eestlasi teab, et see on hoopis rasvane. Mina seda ei tea. Mina tean, et on haavleid täis ja ma tean, et vahel teine innovaator, kes sind järgi teeb, on ju. Temal võib olla natuke rasvane ka. Seda õpetati Tartu Ülikoolis. Aga tunnustame meie kõiki nominente, kus me näeme innovatsiooni seinast seina. Nii maaklerite seast, kindlustusseltside seast, meist kui turg, tooted, turud, teenused, ennetus. Marek, sa ei ole siin, eks ju? Ega me ei vihja midagi, aga teeme aplausi kõigile nominentidele. Kõik meie julged hundid, kellel kindlasti nii mõnigi haavel rinnas ja täna me siin ikkagi oleme selleks, et mõni saaks rinda ka medali või et mõni haavel digi muutuks. Seisame siin koos Marekuga. Veidi veel taustast ka. Jaa, mina ei valinud kandidaati või võitjat. Meil oli komisjon, kes valis aasta teo. Komisjon oli 8-liikmeline. Väga hästi tasakaalustatud. Sinna kuulus nii Eesti Kindlustusseltside Liidu esindajaid, meie liikmete esindajaid, nendest seltsidest, kes ei ole täna nominendid. Meie avaliku sektori partnerite esindajad. Ja kuigi konkurents oli tihe, teod on vägevad, siis sel aastal kuuluks see, et ammu pole nii juhtunud. Oli selle komisjoni arvamus üksmeelne. Jaa, on juba põnev natuke ka. Väga hea, siis mul läheb hästi. Aasta kindlustustegu 2025 kuulub kindlustusseltsile, kes näitas üles julgust, professionaalsust ja märkimisväärset pühendumust. Natuke võib juba vahepeal plaksutada ka, jah. Kindlustusseltsile, kes on innovatsiooni realiseerimisel kiire, samas tegemata kompromisse nõuetele vastavuse osas. Kes jõudis paari kuuga ligi 1000-1500 kliendini. Kes on üks ja ainus, tuues turule uue kindlustusliigi selle esimesel eluaastal, vaatamata sellele, et puudus Eesti kahjustatistika. Daamid ja härrad, aasta kindlustustegu on tervishoiuteenuse osutaja kohustusliku vastutuskindlustuse turule tulek, PZU kindlustus. Palun teie esindajad lavale. kõne PZU juhil. Mihkel.
Ei noh, tere ja tore. Esiteks ma tahan öelda, et Eesti jahiseadus ei võimalda hunti lasta haavlitega. Kohe üldse mitte, nii et ühtegi haavlit meil nüüd rinnas ei ole. Kuuliauke võib-olla küll. Aga noh, eks need ka armistuvad. Vaat, mida ma öelda tahaks, et tegelikult oligi naljakas arendus. Selles mõttes oli naljakas arendus, et kõige peab tegema online'is. Ja ma ütleks nii, et kahjukäsitluse arenduse IT-maht oli isegi minu jaoks üllatus. Ja see üllatuse suurus väljendus nagu tõepoolest sadades tundides IT-töös. Meil kahjuks ei ole nüüd kahjukäsitlejad siin Lavale, et toote eest vastutav isik küll on, et nagu Elo tegi ära väga suure töö. Müüjat me ka siia ei saa tuua, et ma peaks ta tooma koos selle haigla moodiga, Andresele palju tervistit. Aga mis ma veel öelda tahan, et kindlustustoote väljatoomine on nagu selliseks pikaks teekonnaks valmistumine või pikal spordivõistlusel osalemine. Ja seal, kui sa stardist välja lähed, siis sa tegelikult tahad, et reeglid oleks stabiilsed. Et me saaks aru, mis ajahetkel mõõdetakse aega, mis punktides, mis selle aja võtmise käivitab. Kas see, kui ma läbin selle ajavõtu koha, või see, kui ma ütlen, et teate, ma tegelikult läbisin selle mõni aeg tagasi. Ja nii ta ongi, ehk et me ei saa joosta maratoni ja sõita samal ajal seda jalgrattaga, finišis ei ole tulemused võrreldavad. Ehk et reeglid peavad olema kohustusliku kindlustuse puhul ühed. Me ei saa nii, et see turg, kus nagu kannatanuks on eraisik, oleks see mitte üheselt mõistetav. Et ma loodan, et me kõik selle nagu saavutame ja see ongi olnud üks väga põnev teekond. Aga aitäh teile valiku eest. Tegelikult oli tore ja üllatus. Esimest korda muide mulle üldse vastu võtta. Ma olen olnud ilmselt liiga vähe siin kindlustusturul. Aitäh!
Jääge veel hetkeks siia, sest meil on veel üks auhind anda üle ja siis me teeme võitjatega koos pilti, et ärge kaugele kaduge. Kindlustame veebilehel valisime välja ka aasta kindlustusteo konkursi rahvalemmiku. Ja tuleb tunnistada, et sinna rahvalemmiku tiitlile käis ikkagi väga tihe repimine. Ma ei saa siin 2 käe sõrmedega lehvitada, aga võitja osutus võitjaks eduga, mis on vähem kui 2 käe sõrmed. Et seal oli ikka iga hääl luges ja väga napp oli see värk. Ja nüüd siis, ma ütlen niimoodi ilusti, ja rahvalemmik veebihääletusel oli tervishoiuteenuse osutaja kohustusliku vastutuskindlustuse turule tulek, PZU kindlustus. Palun tulge nüüd lavale. Ja sõna rahvalemmiku võitjal.
Suur aitäh kõigile, kes meie poolt hääletasid. Ja mina tahaks öelda ka sellest turule toomisest mõned sõnad, et kui te siin praegu arvate, et teie tööpäevad on pilgeni tegevust täis, siis mõelge uuesti, et umbes aasta tagasi ma ütlesin, et ma tõesti ei tea, millega ma täitsin enda päevi enne TTOVK tootearenduse algust ja mõned kuud hiljem tsiteeris seda meie kahjukäsitluse juht ja ta teeb seda nagu siiamaani. Et on olnud hästi huvitav aasta, hästi pingeline ja tõesti, et see inimvõimed meil said nagu jah, sellest mõttes nagu proovile pandud ja selgus, et kes teeb, see jõuab. Aitäh teile!
Ma tahaks ka öelda, et ma olen nüüd veendunud, et elu jõuab veel rohkem.
Vist vajalik teha üks foto võitjatest, nii et palun siis 3. korda lavale. Traditsiooniline pilt, foto. Väga lahe, sellist asja pole ajaloos veel varem juhtunud, et 2 auhinda lähevad ühte kohta. Aga meie tänane konverents hakkab lõpule jõudma. Suured tänud, kes on vastu pidanud. Loodan, et te saite mõned uued mõtted. Aga enne veel, kui me päris konverentsi lõpetatuks peame, on meil üks palve teile. Selleks, et see konverents saaks olla ka traditsioon ja see toimuks ka järgmine aasta, ja et järgmine aasta oleks see veel parem kui seekord, ootame teie tagasisidet 2 küsimusele. See võtab aega paar minutit maksimaalselt, et see annab EKSL-ile, LKF-ile võimaluse üritust veel paremini korraldada. Ja vahepeal veel selline teade, et KUMU on lahti veel 1 tund. Tõsi, on lausa suur soodustus pileti osas, aga kui teil vähegi kannatab, siis seda soodustust ei pea kasutama, et KUMU piletist saab selle konverentsi osaleja 1 euro odavamalt. Aga pilet on 16 eurot maksimum ja miinimum 15 ja veel on aega 1 tund. Jah, märksõnaks kindlustuskonverents. Ja suured tänud, aitäh teile kõigile, näeme järgmine aasta!